Ready to go whenever. Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Triton Cup 114. I'm Sig Dakari. Joining me on the mic for this first block is the fantastic Topic. Topic, how are you feeling today?
You know what? I'm doing well. Finished all my, my college classes. That's all out the way. I'm here today, ready to see some really good Splatoon action.
We've got a banger of a first set. Just to kick things off, we've got Skywave versus Altruist. A couple of newer teams, some that you may not be familiar with if you don't follow too closely around the locals around here. But just for a quick rundown before we get to things, and I just realized I don't have the stream. I have the stream popped out somewhere. But there are a couple of interesting weapon picks. We have no Snipe Rider here. We're kicking things off on Urshan Underpass as well. So I guarantee we're not seeing any Chargers for this first game. But both Hyperfresh and Hydra both play a lot of Splatlings. And so that's going to be something to just keep your eye out for just going into this right now.
Yeah, you said it's Urshan. I don't play Splatlings, but I do like them because especially you can sit up on the top right side, that little great cutoff area, you know what I'm talking about? Up there, you can kind of sit there and kind of just rain down bullets from mid. I think also on this map, the top left side when you're pushing is very important because I feel, okay, I don't want to say it's easy to get back into this map. I don't want to say it's attacker favored, but it feels a lot easier to push back in than other maps because you do have that that far right side, that one little drop area that sends you right by the tree. Also, shifty stations, we love it. Like that far right drop area is very important because if you can get your enemies kind of funneled into that left side, because like everyone knows, you go there, you can get a pretty decent hold, but you always gotta be careful of a right side drop because if someone goes there, your whole team is gonna get pincered by two people.
Yeah, exactly. And that zone is so small that if you give just an extra couple of seconds for that player on the right hand side, they can just completely flip that zone if they have even a decent amount of paint on their main weapon, or if they combo with a bomb or something. So it is something that just on the hold on this map that you really need to be aware of. I really like as well how this leads into a lot of fighting and sharking weapons. Something that we don't see too often sometimes, especially with current map pools with maps similar to Crab Leg Capital. Urchin is the exact opposite of that. A ton of cover, a ton of just different lanes that are very difficult to just keep all in your line of sight if you are an anchor player that is normally that whose job is normally to just cover and prevent those sharks and flanks from happening. I'm really excited to see what I believe specifically Shaq, Otter, and I believe Rifa are going to do here because they all play some of the more AoE stuff. Otter and Shaq specifically play these blasters, and I'm very excited. I know Nar and Rifa both play Dread Ringers, and Rifa plays Relics too. And then, Otter plays the Dread. Mix them up. Nar plays Tetra and Dapple, and that's what we're going to be seeing in Game 1. And there's Otter with that custom blaster.
Yeah, you talk about AoE on the side of Ultra. They actually do have some AoE with that bucket, with that blaster, so that'd be very, very important, especially getting over those ledges, that kind of very intense area in front of your spawn. Very, very important. We're gonna see right here is Ultra is doing what they can to get the first couple points of the game. 93 points on the board with Skywave not too far behind as it's immediately being really back and forth. And like you said earlier, a lot of fighting happens. A lot of this kind of thick plus action coming out right now.
Find a couple of picks, but so does Hydra on that flank. Gets a triple with the jump in. And Skywave established full control in mid. They're looking to push further into Ultra's spawn. Ultras do have a couple of tri-strikes here just to try and get this retake going, but with the 52 on the left-hand side, this 10 tech is not going to have a good time.
You see the background.
Otter with the splashdown is going to just completely flip the zone like we were talking about in the pregame. One player on that right side just completely shuts things down.
Yeah, taking all the tension away from that right side flank is very, very important. You saw right there as the Blaster just got in, got the splashdown, got a kill, I think, too, and they were able to do what they can. Cash going down into the bucket, getting a nice kill, looking for even more Ultras, doing what they can to just keep Skywave back. Zipcaster just trying to cause a distraction. They're going to go down eventually, and this may be lead switch, because right now, Ultras, they're looking really strong here along with the strikes.
Oh, absolutely. Those tri-strikes as well, just holding off a couple of players, kind of isolating that Stamper, and there goes the Dapple as well. The Gal is able to find one as a trade, but the lead, like you said, just immediately flips down to almost 20 points left. Ultras still have control of this zone. The Whale's going to push a couple people out for this Gal to push forwards, and Nar's able to cap that zone with the rest of the team. Honor is on this left-hand side, though. Collapsed on by 2, has to jump out, but the rest of the team, especially this Tech, has been able to trade out and get a little bit of space back for Ultras. Skywave, though, pushing forwards with this tactical cooler, finds 3 down for the price of 1, and all of a sudden, with only 20 penalty points left at the top, they could just take that lead right back.
Yeah, and I want to point out, just looking at the map itself, look how quickly both these teams are pushing up. It flips from purple to yellow to purple to yellow again, because they're just moving so quick, because both these teams know if they can get up in this little, like, I don't know what they call, I forgot to call out for it, but this little, you know, area with like all the ramps and stuff, if they get up there, they can cause a lot of damage, and so far Ultras is responding back in kind. As a quick 2 down for Skywave may cause Ultras to extend the lead a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good amount of penalty points to chew through just to start things off, but with 2 picks, that's going to give them a really solid window, as well as a splash down, making a lot more space. This heavy edit on the other side on Skywave is forced to jump out. The Gal is picked off yet again, and Ultras just have this great bit of control set up. Now, I am a little bit concerned again about that drop right, but they're already 3 the penalty. Nobody from Skywave is really taking advantage of it right now. The strikes forcing people back as the sword tries to look towards Nar with the reef slider. He's going to flip it, and there it is. The Gallon as well finds 1 pick, looks for that second catch. Looking for that third, but the T-Tech is going to find it right there. And it's just a bloodbath right from the zone here topic.
Yeah, it's a bloodbath, and Altruists are going to win. So to the victory go the spoils, as they're able to kind of recollect themselves, because I think that little reef slider was a bit you know, of a shock to them, but they were very easily able to recollect themselves and do what they can. But the 52 with a quick double kill, looking for even more, not quite able to get the pick, going for a bit of a style play. A kill, able to get it, and Skywave responding in kind. A minute to go left in this game, but they have a mountain to climb. They want to come back here.
That was a stylish pick by that 52 guy, but immediately getting traded out by, I believe that is Hydra on the heavy edits. Now immediately the strikes coming onto the zone. The Zipcaster not going to be able to ping out, but able to contest the rest of the team. Gives Nar the room for another reef slider here, but gets picked off before being able to pop it. Skywave still has control of that zone, but Altruist is able to flip it right in time. Now Skywave need to retake this. They still have a ton of ground to make up here, both in the map and in the score. And with 30 seconds, they need to find a retake immediately. That trade isn't going to be doing any huge favors, but maybe Cash can find something here on the 52 gal, as well as the Stamper. Cash just pushing forward. The Stamper is able to find 1 onto the jump. There's
that's
another
3.
3 down.
That's 3.
And Skywave is able to recap this zone, but the question is, can they hold? They only have a Zipcaster here.
Yeah, only a Zipcaster. You're looking for a whale. You're looking for the 52 to kind of pop off a little bit here. Zipcaster going to be pop looking for something, but the blaster, that AoE, able to shut that down. You see 3 measures coming in for Skywave. Unfortunately, another go down to that reef slider. It looks like they're going to go in with the strikes again, and the strikes is all that you need. The GG strikes say that is it. And a very back and forth game, number 1. We were talking about it before the game started. Very fight heavy. These lots of scraps happening on either side of the zone, and Skywave will be the ones to take game 1 in a very back and forth game.
That was pretty tight. Both those scores got pretty far down there, but Skywave able to just clutch up. I really liked just generally how they were able to deal with Nar specifically on the reef slider. That can just instantly flip the zone, but they really didn't give them that many opportunities to kind of cap. Now on the contrary, They did have both the custom blaster and the tri-strikes from the Slosher for just some really quick zone caps of their own. Really gave them a lot of space to work with. And again, the AoE is just so difficult to just push back into on the side of Altruist. And Skywave just did a great job at utilizing that to their advantage. I really like that. And we're going over here onto Umami Ruins topic. What do you think we'll see from them?
I honestly expect a lot of the same. We might see a switch from that blaster on Skywave because I don't want. Okay, how do you're not as funneled on this map as you are on Urchin Underpass. Like, it's okay, I keep saying I forgot. I don't know the call out for it, but like that little section, like the little street area, like all the like ramps in front of the zone. I don't know the call out for it. I'm not gonna know it for a while. Please bear with me. But that area that can be really affected by these AoE weapons isn't there on Umami Ruins. So I expect. I think they could stick with what they have because it works. You can affect the silo area really effectively if you're able to get up there. That's really, really good. So honestly, I could see them staying with what they got, but we're gonna see. It looks like actually Octoseal with the Dread Ringer. I believe that's the horns or no, is it horns? I don't know.
It's the horns one. Yeah, that's
the horns.
Tank. Such high special output from that one, as well as just some fantastic chip damage. The question is, will it be able to just keep pace with the rest of the players here? And Skywave already off to an early pick. Otter on that custom range blaster, probably their best weapon, or at least the one that they're most known for. Able to find a second pick onto Gnar as well, looking for that third, but Hydra's able to shut it down. Rifa, though, with the other Dreadringer, is just trying to contest Cash here on the top left, slides onto the zone and maintains control for Skywave. They are already looking pretty solid here on the opening, but with one player down and almost a second one, and the Crab Tank coming up, this is going to be a really difficult hold for them here.
Yeah, that Crab forcing Otter back a little bit, Otter and Hyper back a little bit, but managing to stay in a little bit, trying to contest this zone. Ultras doing what they can. You see Octo still trying to shark around, doing something here, but Gnar just going in with the reside to at least try to get something on the board. A point is a point, but unfortunately he's not going to do a whole lot more because it's just a Reef Slider pandemonium for both sides coming out here, and it looks like Skywave will be the ones that are going to be forced back as Ultras are going to do what they can, get two members down, looking to push a little bit forward, but Rifa here on the Great Plus just kind of keeping them at bay, and I think that's what's really good about Range Blaster here. You can kind of scout this top area with like that. You can scout the top area without putting yourself in like any significant danger.
Oh, absolutely. That massive AoE, something that S-Blast can't really do. One of the more meta options that we see, I really like kind of the use of Range Blaster's larger hitbox there. It's very creative, already moving forwards. That Kraken didn't quite find anything, but it forced a lot of people to go into top left. But the rest of Altruist is able to push forwards. The Reef Slider is not going to find anything, actually, while the rest of Skywave still are able to control zone. Just 2 points, though. Or actually, never mind, not even that for Skywave, or for Altruist here. As Skywave maintain control, the strikes are going to come in, but what can Altruist do with them? There's not much that they can as the Slosher ends up getting picked off. Just, again, this massive amount of AoE with the Dreadringer and the Range Blaster is just being so difficult for them to clear.
Yeah, that's really, really good from Hyper. They're getting out that Dreadringer, try to do something, clear out that silo, but it's not going to matter in a whole lot because Ultras are still going to go 2 members down, and Skylar's going to keep it another 2 members down. That's delayed wipe for Ultras here, and Skylar doing what they can. You see Rifa here close to that Kraken. They're going to get a pick, looking for even more. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. The Crab, they would get it, but they have to go for zone right away. Right now, they're not. Hold on. They're able to neutralize the zone for a second there. You see Hydra on the heavy at it, able to keep it. Ruside's coming out, gonna get it, and a double kill. Triple wide open, looking for the Grand Slam. They're not quite able to get it, but in the nick of time, Altruist able to hold on, and now they have a long way to go if they want the game win here.
Oh, what a massive slider from Nar, though, really saving the game there with the double, and then, like you said, the third afterwards. The Slosher and the custom range able to trade out here, but the Trizuka is going to be massive, just trying to find any kind of picks, not quite going to. The Crab Tank providing a lot of chip, but two players, Rifa and Otter, jumping back into this shot. They're trying to get back onto the zone. Leo's already looking for the fight onto the Hydra, but not quite able to find it. Cash is jumping in to support. Otter's right there to, again, bring up the 2v2, and Cash ends up going down here. The jump isn't quite safe in the midst of three. Ends up dropping. It's three players down the side of Altruist, and Skywave are back in full control. They have the Kraken as well to pop. Not even going to need it to find a pick onto Cash there. But now it's just a question of how much space can you clear, how much more difficult can you make the life of Altruist, and immediately finding a pick on the Hydra, forcing that Crab Tank early. Nars on an island, and Skywave could really be looking at a KO.
They're looking to do that, but a minute to go left in this game. Ultra is not going to go away that easy. They're able to get the recap. Unfortunately, they are going to go 2 members down, so kind of hindering their chances to get even more points off this. Because you see right away, Skywave, they're back and ready to go. Because I feel like what's been happening is that both these teams, they've been getting picks, right? But Ultruist haven't been or Skywave have been getting the right picks at the right time, were able to fully capitalize on them, and Ultras have been doing that, but not at the full extent. They've been kind of not hindered, but they've been really trying to do their best to kind of react to what Skywave is doing, and that's really hindering what they can do in the long term here.
As Nar is just dancing around two players, just trying to hinder Skywave as much as possible, but they're not going to be at all, as three players end up going down. It's just Hydra left on this heavy edit, just trying to do it all. Otter gets picked off by the Crab Tank, both for 4, 3, 2, there's 1 second left, and Skywave are able to maintain the control, and they secure that 2-0 to move on to the next round of bracket. And that's a pretty tough one. But props to Ultras for hanging in there at the end of that game.
I mean, yeah, you saw Skywave. They got to 1 point. If Altruist was a second slower, that would have been game set match right there. But they were able to get it at the last second and bring it back relatively close. I think they got to around 40-ish points remaining. So going from going almost like 100 to 0, basically, to bringing it close and fighting through and through, and not getting knocked out, just making them go to time. That's a lot of fight right there.
Mm-hmm. It is incredibly tough, especially on Umami Ruins. I feel just to come back from any kind of massive deficit, just making that effort is really, really solid. But again, I want to give props to Skywave here. That double AoE is just ridiculously strong, able to show that they can slow things down with the custom range and the Dreadringer, and speed it up with some of the more mobile and fight-heavy weapons like the Slosher and Custom Blast. I really like kind of what they had going on, as well as the heavy edit just to help with fighting. It kind of gave me shades of that Invincible Fleet comp that we saw win SWS a couple months ago at this point. Really interesting to see, but with that being said, we are going to be going to a quick break before we give y'all your next round of Triton Cup.
Deal. Welcome back, everyone, to more Triton Cup action for you. I am Topic, joined once again by Sigdo Kari. And for you today, we have a very interesting matchup. We have Ink Souls Maria versus Last Stand. And Kari, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good right now. You know, we just had a pretty fun set to watch previously. Uh, I think I might be looking at the wrong game. It might be Chocolate
Wait,
Vanilla Swirl versus Yo that we're spectating instead of Ink Souls Murray versus Last Stand. I'm going to just double check the bracket if I can find it.
yeah, give
One
us.
second.
Hold. Are we? Uh, we'll figure things out.
All right, we're here.
We're
Okay.
here.
I have this one. We're in the lobby. We're getting ready, but we got Yo versus Chocolate Vanilla Swirl. Remember a ton of players from Yo, specifically Splat, Bake, and Ali. I've run into them a ton in just random solo queue stuff. Splat, absolutely fantastic player, plays mostly the support stuff like Splash and Zimmy. Bake, if you don't know them, they play a lot of chargers. And then Ali, I believe, plays like the S-Blast, the really mechanical, aim-heavy weapons. So that's a really solid net. Roster's rounded out by Kai, who I really don't know much, if anything, about. And then we got Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, which we will see their comp in just a second. But I believe they have some pretty interesting stuff. Just a junior, double AoE. Yeah, a lot of splash damage on that comp.
Yeah, actually, mirror images of each other. Only thing is different is a junior from Bling Bling and a Splash from Roman. So other than that, this is a mirror match.
We've got a pretty interesting one going into things already, just trying to poke each other out, not really looking to fight until those tacticals are up. Same thing with the Crab Tank, able to just force that big bubbler, immediately getting shredded. Kai's looking for a fight, has to jump out here. Ali also doing the same thing, but Kai ends up going down here. Ali has to jump back out into the pencil. Slosher from the other side, Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, goes in, finds one. Same thing with the two players. It's just the pencil left. R is able to trade out, but the junior of Cap is able to find one more pick, and Chocolate Vanilla Swirl have control of zone and the snipe.
Yeah, this stack here is very, very important. You get this, I don't say you kind of win the game, but you make it so much harder for the opponent to get in. You see Bling Bling doing right here, just chucking bombs, keeping that pencil kind of preoccupied, getting one on the S-Blast, very, very big there. Kai just trying to survive and build up and get those strikes off at a good time. You see the cooler coming out for Yo, trying to get in here along with the Booyah bomb. 20 seconds remaining on that clock. The bomb is gonna force Kai back for just a second there. Chocolate Vanilla Swirl are still in control of zone. Ali in the middle of the zone. One's gonna go down. 7 seconds remaining. Another one going down. Ali in the zone, and that will be it. A very, very quick game. And Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, they got in, they got the zone, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, that go button immediately was just ridiculous. Like, right after the Crab Tank was over from Yo, the rest of Chocolate Vanilla Swirl just swarmed Snipe, and there wasn't really much that Yo was able to do about it. Just players constantly just getting spammed out by the massive AoE from that side, the S-Blast, the Slosher, the double bomb from the Junior. That's just a massive headache to fight, and I mean, Chocolate Vanilla Swirl took full advantage, got really in Yo's face, and I mean, they just punished them 100-0 for that.
And I think what kind of I won't say helped is the different philosophies of that last weapon, right? One, Yo had the bubble. No, Yo had the crab, and then Chocolate Vanilla Swirl had the bubble. I think I don't want to say they kind of countered each other, or I don't say the bubble countered the crab, but that crab, I don't say was scared, but was more reluctant to do it because that bubble could kind of invalidate half your crab. So I think that kind of put Yo a bit on the back foot, if that makes sense. But that's in the past. Let's talk about the next game, Hagglefish Market. And honestly, personally, when I see Hagglefish zones, this is your vanilla ice cream of Splatoon 3, and I will not explain any further.
I mean, we want to talk about cookie cutter, bread and butter stuff. We've got pencils, we got sloshers, we got S-Blast, and a support shooter, and we're on Hagglefish zones. I mean, this is as basic and normal as a comp Splatoon game can get.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're just going straight into it again. Chocolate Vanilla Swirl. I mean, the ice cream analogy makes me think that they have a pretty solid chance at closing out here, if anything. But they still have to win one more game after that. We are in the best of 5 territory. And we've seen a lot of just kind of passivity from both of these teams. They're opting to play a little bit safer, just not try and rush in and give the first pick. Although that's going in favor of Yo very heavily right now as 2 players end up going down. It's just the Junior and the Pen left, able to trade out.
Battle Junior. Battle Junior got a double kill. That was kind of clutch, even though, yes, they did end up dying. Just stalling out Yo for the extra, what, 5-10 seconds. That does a whole lot to just help your team get back into, or spawn back, get their specials back. So that's very, very clutch from Bling Bling there. But now, Yo, they're in control. Bia Bomb coming out for them. Unfortunately, Ollie's going to go down, and that clock's ticking. But if you're Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, you're not worrying all that much here.
No, not at all. I mean, you've got still a good amount of time on the clock. You've given the penalty. You've gotten 3 picks as well, and you've gotten that zone completely back. The Junior is just constantly just trying to rush down this pencil. Has a bubble at the ready to hold even more space. Is looking to get as far in as possible. There's the bubble. Provides that jump in for the S-Class too. And now all of a sudden, Chocolate Vanilla Swirl have just fully flipped the script. 2v2, the Booyah for a little bit more stall. The Junior ends up going down, but the lead flips. And I mean, Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, like you said, they're not worried, and they are back in the driver's seat of this game.
And the pencil here for Yo, taking a very interesting position here, going on a bit of a flank, trying to catch them off guard, but we love Battle Junior just shutting that down almost instantly. The strikes that come out for Yo, not a whole lot's going to change there, but you see Kai just trying to do what they can, get a pick here, trying to do something here along with this S-Splash, building up that Booyah Bomb, looking to throw, looking for a way in. They're not quite able to get it. They are able to at least neutralize the zone for just a second, but Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, they are looking very strong here. 6 ticks remaining. Yo still fighting back at the last second, able to get something going, able to get the flip and get the penalty, but 3 members down. Very unfortunate timing and a delayed wipeout it will be for Yo. So Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, they're back in business. Also, nice direct.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty tough trade, especially for... I think my stream just completely died. Just maybe my Wi-Fi's out. Let's hope not. But okay, never mind. We're back. The zone is getting contested, but the strikes are able to hold it for Chocolate Vanilla Swirl here. The S-Blast goes down. Ollie's out. But, I mean, so the rest of Yo is just struggling to deal with the Slosher. Bling Bling's able to follow up as well on that Junior. The S-Blast on the bottom left-hand side is looking for one, finds it onto that Slosher. The players are jumping in on the side of Yo, but they only have 10 penalty points left here. The question is, what will they be able to do? The Booyah Bomb has to be used to deal with that big bubbler. The strikes being popped on the zone at the same time. They're used to neutralize,
not quite able to.
And Chocolate Vanilla Swirl take that game 2 in stride.
Yeah, very, very confident. I want to shout out Bling Bling on Chocolate Vanilla Swirl for those really aggressive bubbles we saw when the Chocolate Vanilla Swirl got onto the plat of Yo, and that very aggressive bubble that just kind of solidified Chocolate Vanilla Swirl's spot and gave their team jumps. It gave their team time to get back. That was very clutch. And at the end there, we saw the bubble was popped for Chocolate Vanilla Swirl to just kind of hold in front of the zone. And yes, it really did block out the strikes, but it did manage, or it did cause a lot of the ink that was going straight forward to kind of get delayed for just a second. And that second mattered a lot. That's what's got them the win here.
I mean, that was really solid. You know, you're not able to pop those strikes and Booyah Bomb at the same time, thanks in part to the big bubbler, but also just forcing that Slosher to drop. Not really able to... I mean, that completely just locked out the zone, especially with the amount of paint you have with a Junior. It's kind of ridiculous. But going on to Mako Mart zones, one of the more easily cappable zones, I feel like that's a good way of putting it. You can just take that zone incredibly easily, whether it's a slider. You can even use 2 strikes to just fully neutralize it, and a third flips it just with paint to spare as well.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that you can Reslider will flip the zone here, if I recall, because it's that small, right? I want to say.
Yeah, it's a pretty small zone here. Big Bubble can also just cover almost the entire thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's not going to be fun to deal with.
Yeah, I think if you're Yo, I don't. I think I still like their comp, right? I doubt they're gonna switch. It worked. They felt comfortable with it game one. They stuck with it game two. I don't really see any switches. I think their biggest problem is again dealing with that big bubbler because Bling Bling just popping out the right times is just working. It's doing its best to kind of keep them at bay, but we're gonna see same comp from Chocolate Vanilla Swirl. Yo, actually switching it up here with a custom blaster, so a bit of a counter, you could say, to the bubble, because I believe Splashdown one-shots bubble, if I recall correctly.
That it does, but it also can be used for just an instant flip of that zone. The triple splashdown, if you don't shoot any parts of it, can really quickly cap it, especially if you have even just a couple of subs of special power. Oh, what a bomb snipe from Bling Bling on that Junior. That crab is immediately shut down from Roman. And Yo, again on the back foot. They do find a couple of picks to answer though, and this Slosher has the strikes ready, but is immediately picked off by that Snipe Raider. Ollie's able to find one, pops the splashdown, gets that second, gets traded out though. But Yo do have control of the zone, and they have something they've kind of been hurting for, which is a lead.
Yeah, they're able to get the lead, it possibly extend it a lot further than they have been able to the last couple of games. Like Crab in a very aggressive spot here, kind of harass the sniper. Bling Bling is just doing whatever they want as they're able to just basically kill that Crab solo, get the zone back, stay alive for a little bit longer. Though they do go down, that bubble's gonna help their teammate out at least a little bit here. And Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, even though they did lose that fight at the very end there, they managed to at least stop the bleeding and give Yo a penalty points. Plus, they got a wipeout, so that's very helpful.
Oh yeah, now this is putting them in just prime position for really making a dent here, taking back that lead. This S-Blast is holding two players, finds the pick onto Roman as well. It's going to be massive. There's the lead flip for Chocolate Vanilla Swirl. Has the Booyah Bomb as well, just to stall even further. There's no real options outside of the Tri-Strikes and Crab Tank to shred, and only one of them's up, and they immediately got picked off by that Booyah Bomb. So there's no Tri-Strikes on the table for at least a couple more seconds, but now with three specials on the side of Yo, the Crab Tank is being popped just to force out those S-Blasts. The Cooler is picked up, giving them that jump out option, but with the Splashdown coming through, the zone is neutralized. The strikes are coming through as well, but Bling Bling's on the right-hand side, is able to keep it neutral for quite a while, enough for these strikes to come in and keep it for further, and even score some more points to go along with it. And I mean, Yo are finally able to get back in control, but I mean, that is just a very, very tough thing to come back from.
Yeah, but a nice double kill from the bucket here, just staying alive, looking for the triple kill. Nice 90-degree snipe there, getting a triple kill, keeping their team in, keep giving them away, or at least a little bit of a safety blanket there. And now Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, they're back in business, but Yo are not going away. You see the crab pop from Roman, looking to cap this zone by themselves. The pencil here doing the exact same thing, able to get the zone, but now the question is, can they push forward? That's a good start. Two members down inside of Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, but can they advance? Because I feel like every time they've tried to get in a situation, they've gone one down unexpectedly, or a flank has been able to just really kill the momentum.
Namely, that Junior has been a problem, and already again, just constantly trading out on the left-hand side is going to leave only the pencil left, and with these bombs being sailed over this bottom left-hand side, and the same thing with the big bubbler, again, just making all the space in the world on that zone for Chocolate Vanilla Swirl. They're able to take back that zone. Yo's not able to get past 40 points, and the Slosher finds another pick onto Kai, I believe, and that is going to give Chocolate Vanilla Swirl another really big advantage here. Ollie, though, is able to find one in the bottom left, picked off by Sunny, though. The Crab Tank gonna have to do it all. Bling Bling goes down. There's no big bubbler on the table, but there are Tri-Strikes, and same thing with that Slosher. The jumps are coming in, but nobody's able to contest them. The Crab Tank actually finds one onto the Slosher. The zone is neutralized. Can they prevent this KO? Yo with the strikes, just hoping for anything right now. The big bubbler immediately shredded, but no zone cap. Yo needs to get moving immediately. This Slosher is just trying to find something on the left. Not able to do it, but the zone is flipped for Yo, and they stay alive.
Yeah, they stay alive. They live to fight another day. A minute to go left in this game. The pencil is down for Yo, so no cooler for at least another couple of seconds here. You see the bucket on Yo trying to do something, able to get our and able to give a jump, but not for long, as Ali will actually staying alive, going for that bubble, getting a double kill with the splash. Now momentum is in favor of Yo at the moment, as they're out of the penalty points. They're able to score more and more points. 35 seconds remain on the clock, 30 ticks as well. If you're Yo, you're looking to hold on. If you're talking no sport, you're looking to get a pick or two and get in. It's 15 ticks remaining. They're going for the zone. The strikes, the booyah, able to recapture the zone, but 20 seconds remaining. Not a whole lot of time left for either team to go, as Yo are fighting tooth and nail to get back in this game and try to get something here. 10 seconds remaining, and Chocolate Vanilla Swirl has reestablished control, looking to that snipe, getting a trade. Very, very clutch for Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, and Yo, it's just the pencil. 3 seconds remaining. That will do it with the burst bombs, and Chocolate Vanilla Swirl will hold on, fend off Yo, and win a very, very close game 3 to win the set.
And I mean, I really like the adaptation from Yo here, but Chocolate Vanilla Swirl were just able to just maintain, again, just fully control that map, whether it was through the sharks, through bling bling on the flank, or the big bubble, or the bombs, or just how they were able to recap the zone. They were just an incredible, well-oiled machine throughout that entire set. Really, really fantastic stuff. That's going to punch them a ticket to top 6 of Triton Cup. They're going to be in winter semis in just a bit. But yeah, I mean, that was really, really solid, especially against stiff competition. That 3-0 is crazy.
Yeah, that 3-0. It's one of those close 3-0s, right? Because I feel like all 3 of these games could have gone either way. This could have very easily gone to game 5. Right, with how back and forth it is, especially game 2. If the strikes came out a second sooner at the very end, they were able to get the zone. I feel like they could have held and recaptured the lead. Game 3 was very back and forth for like the entire game. That final fight lasted what, like 45 seconds. A couple picks here and there for Yo would have done it, but yeah, very close, very, very back and forth. Yo, they're down in losers, but there's not out of it just yet a chance to, come back, make their way through losers bracket, come to grand finals, and maybe they might even get a rematch, but we're gonna see that a lot later. But for now, we're gonna take a very, very quick break before we're back to you with more Triton Cup in a few minutes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Triton Cup 114. I'm Sigdakari. Joining me is Topic, and we've got your winners semifinals coming at you. We've got Dembele Ballon d'Or versus Juan Lextaz. And Topic, how are you feeling about these couple of teams? There are a few familiar faces that we see from both Europe and America here.
Uh, First off, I will say I'm sorry to all the French viewers. I will butcher these names horribly the entire time. No, there are no guarantees I'll pronounce it correctly, but I'll try my best. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, like you said, popular or not well-known teams from both the Americas and from Europe. So I'm excited to see. But you know, they gotta start somewhere, and game number one's gonna be on once again the vanilla ice cream, the salt and pepper, the bland mashed potatoes of Splatoon 3, Hagglefish Market.
Yep, we're loading right into it. You see a several just household names. We've got Arc, X, Merval, and Blondie right there. Brush coming through, and then we've got Fox, Shiaki, Daki, and Slasher.
Ooh, okay. I'm interested to see the new, or not new now, but the third kit for the Octobrush for Blondie on the side of Ballon d'Or. You're gonna see the Frozen Pro. I like that because those missiles can really do a really good job of just distracting and moving everyone. So I'm gonna see what they can do with that. As right now, it's just a fight for mid. You see Ballon d'Or doing what they can to try to get control of the zone. They're not quite able to get it just yet, as Lextaz is able to do something here. The Brush able to get a nice one on the Pro here, and that will give Lextaz enough space they need to get the zone cap.
Yep, as well as another pick to go along with that, just to fully solidify the control in mid. They do lose their Sniper Rider, so they don't quite have the Tacticooler being charged up, and Slasher's able to find a massive pick on that bottom left-hand side, just kickstarting this retake with the Tri-Strike, and another pick coming in for the Miller Ballon d'Or, and the Tri-Strike comes in, or the Tacticooler comes in. Slasher's looking for a little bit more, isn't able to punish the jump, as Ralse is able to just find that pick, just clean things up, and finally neutralize it for Juan Lextaz. Blondie is able to find that Kraken just clear out the bottom right, but Shiaki is behind along with Slasher. The Kraken's able to clean that one up. And I mean, now it's just full control for Juan Lextaz here.
Full control, they're able to get it, but they're not quite able to get any further, as they're kind of I don't think stuck in zone, but they're being held back by Ballon d'Or here, as a double kill is going to put a real pain in their thorn. Slasher is going to go down, another one's going to go down, as Juan Lextaz trying to go in, not quite able to do a whole, as Daki able to, you know, clean up a couple of picks, looking for another one on Slash on the Stamper here. They're going to go down as well. So right now, just very back and forth. Both these teams looking for a way to get a good hold, because right now, well, they are able to get a good hold because they got a wipeout. So good start from Ballon d'Or.
Oh, a fantastic start to this hold, and they have almost no penalty left. So, I mean, we're 2 minutes in, but nobody's gotten past 70 points. There's a lead flip immediately, and Slasher's looking for another pick. There you go. The Zip Catch to come through. Is just looking for anything. No, not quite going to find it, but give space for that Booyah Bomb to see the jump on the left-hand side, but not able to capitalize. Two players end up actually going down on the side of Juan Lextaz, and now the Melee Ballon d'Or are able to hold a lot more space here. Fox just has full control of this right-hand side. Nobody's really able to contest until that Sniper Rider is able to find that pick. There's Momo able to get that, but with 20 points left here, it's getting a little bit dicey. Trying to get that flip is Blondie, and they're able to do so.
Yeah, able to get that flip, plus a little bit more. Blondie, I believe, did get a double kill, looking for even more to go, popping the Kraken just to make sure that they can go in there without being threatened, going straight for Fox there. They're going to go down, going straight for the tent. Again, able to get a nice double kill, giving Juan Lextaz a chance to hold here, a chance to get closer and closer to that 20-point mark. And so far, they're looking good. They have most of mid painted. They have a lot of space taken in front of the zone, but the question is, can they hold on? Because Dembele Ballon d'Or, they're going to be fighting back really fast here.
And immediately, though, Juan Lextaz are able to find a pick on the Shiaki, I believe, and that's going to be just stalling that push. The missiles are effectively useless. The Zip Catcher has come in and get a ton of value, but the rest of the players are going down. Slash is going to have to do it all on the Zip Catcher as well. Shiaki on that swap, but not able to find anything. And Juan Lextaz are able to hold the zone for the rest of that time and get that first game picked up.
Yeah, a bit of a scare at the end there. You know, you saw zone was neutral. You saw the Zip caster was out looking for picks, but Joel Extaz able to just hold on and get the win. But we saw that it took a while for both these teams to get under 70. But once that first team got under 70, they just kept going blow for blow, still getting larger and larger pushes. But Joan Lex Dawes, though, they are able to hold out just long enough to get the win there.
Yeah, I mean, really, really solid hold there from Joan Lexans. Now we're going over to a little bit of a different map, another one that will punish you for being caught on the back foot for too long, especially if you just get wiped out here on Hammerhead Bridge. Definitely one that you're gonna want to just make sure that your sniper rider can stay alive on. If it's not the sniper rider, it's got to be somebody else just providing that stability. Make sure you're not too far behind in the score count. And I mean, if that previous game was anything to go off of, I mean, there's going to be quite the issue for Demella Ballendor here. And they are going to need to find some way to get back in, especially on this map.
Yeah, because this map, you have one way to get in. Go straight. And the enemy can also knows you have one way to go, going straight. So I think it's a matter of, I don't want to say not getting locked out. It's a matter of not getting pushed back too far, because if you do, that clock will just run and run and run until it hits 0. So if you're Dembele Ballendor, like you said, you just got to make sure you don't get locked out, as they're going to stick with what they have for João Lextaz. Wait, I got my colors wrong. Flip it. Looks like João Lextaz is staying what they have, as them Bella Ballendor going over to that 52, so maybe that wall will kind of help, block out some aggressive pushes from João Lextaz.
Yeah, I mean, Daki can definitely do a lot more, and already it's working out great for Demilla Ballendor. And they're able to find 2 picks, get the zone cap as well, trying to force out this S-Blast. But already, though, they're able to find 1. Art gets traded out immediately, though, but 2 players down the side of Demilla Ballendor means that Slash is able to maybe find a little bit more space. No, I spoke a little bit too soon here, as Blondie gets picked off as well. Both Naval and Blondie are down. Make that a 3rd as Jamomo ends up dropping. It's just Arc left, and with Slasher just making so much headway in this top left, in the Booyah Bomb being forced to be popped pretty far back, as well as every single special at once. The Melabandor have given themselves a pretty solid lead before Fox drops.
Yeah, they're gonna drop, but Daki is still being there, being a bit of a nuisance in the side of João Lextaz. They're gonna go down. Slasher popping. The Zipcats trying to get something. They're gonna go down as well. They're gonna see that Dembele Ballendor. They're gonna go 3 members down, and that will give João Lextaz an opportunity and chance to get in. But the question is, can they? Because you see the 52 just popping that wall right there kind of discourages João Lextaz from pushing up any further. So now it becomes, can Dembele Ballendor find their way in?
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be pretty tough. We already see Blondie, though, on a pretty solid shark, just only giving their position away relatively by the auto bombs being thrown, but able to kind of activate off the rest of the team. I believe that was Merval that's able to find 1, looking for a little bit more as well. There's another pick on the Fox, and the jump camp on the Chiaki. There's a triple! And João Lextaz still have a lot of fight in them, able to just slowly recap that zone as the rest of the team comes back in. Now with the tax cooler up, they can really push this pace, and this Stamper is already doing that as Daki ends up getting traded out for it. And I mean, now they're in just the full control of the map.
Yeah, this is kind of the danger of getting wiped out, especially on the Hammerhead Bridge, is that you see how far up João Lextaz is pushing. You see a nice kill by the pencil here. You see how much pressure they're allowed to put on, and how they're getting Dembele Ballendor on this bit of a stagger here, as that's going to be the lead, as again, members of Dembele Ballendor just falling one by one, looking for any way to get in. You see the strikes are going to be at the ready for Dembele Ballendor. They're going to get at least a little bit closer to the zone, but you see a Booyah Bomb coming out, just clearing out that snipe for a second there, but the strikers are gonna come out trying to go with that. The Zipcats though causing a lot of distraction. 10 ticks remaining, 1 going to go down on João Lextaz, looking for 2. That's a double. Unfortunately, didn't get shut down by Blondie, just defending the zone, and that will do it. João Lextaz able to hold on, able to fight back against Dembele Ballendor's really, really good opening push, and able to win that game.
Yeah, I mean that was impressive. I was surprised they were able to hold that long. You know, contrary to what Demella Ballon d'Or were doing on their hold, João Lixtas really weren't able to move as far into the spawn or as far like forwards in front of that zone as Demella Ballon d'Or were. They were doing a fantastic job though at just holding the space and working with what they were given, or at least what they already took. And I mean, just based off that, they just had a fantastic hold. Really, really solid stuff. Now, this is one map where you definitely do have to, if you want to take control of that zone, move pretty far in. And I think that Demella Ballon d'Or have a serious shot at taking this if they are able to play to that a little bit more here on Museum.
Yeah, and I think this kind of shows the difference between Museum and Hammerhead, where Museum, you have options, right? You can drop basically anywhere on your plat. You also have that top right flank that drops like right behind the zone, so that's very important. Much like what we saw earlier with Urgent Underpass, where you had to be careful of drops. Same thing here, but thankfully this is a much bigger zone that is covered by the spinner, so it's not as easy to flip, but it is still it's very easy to like contest it and get it neutralized. So if you're João Lixtas or if you're the Ballon d'Or, I think having like your pencil player, as both of them have, watching that drop is going to be very important for both sides.
Oh, absolutely, and especially with a lot of these weapons that can do so much damage. The Rush, the Blaster, everything like that. The Slosher too. I mean, those drops are going to do a ton of damage here. Now, Blondie, back on the signature pick of the Ink Brush Nouveau. This is what I know them a little bit more for. Just more than just the Kraken Brush, but clearly just lethal on both. Already, though, 2 players down on the side of João Lixtas and Demella Ballon d'Or have full control here. Almost getting picked off, though, is Shiaki. Same thing with Slasher, just trying to kind of get onto the snipe, pressure that sniper a little bit more, but not quite able to. Demella Ballon d'Or, though, still able to hold a lot of space here. 2 players on that right-hand side trying to pick a fight, but one sword already ends up going down. Arc has to pop the Booyah Bomb just for a little bit of a zone cap. Fox on the other side is going to just give the cap over to João Lixtas, and with Blondie just clearing out that right-hand side, the rest of the team can focus on the left here, and I mean, this sword is in a pretty tough spot along with Fox, just getting rushed by 2.
I mean, yeah, Slasher, they're forced to jump out and live another day. It's going to work out for them as going for a couple of picks here. A sword fight is going to ensue, but Slasher's going to be forced to jump out. And João Lixtas, a bit of a scare, kind of deja vu from last game where they went down early, but they're very easily able to storm back and take the lead. But can they hold on is the question here. Now you have to watch out for that right side drop as one able to go down on both sides. The missiles, though, from Daki are going to do just enough to get a pick, but they're going to go down themselves, and it's like João Lixtas are going to barely hold on to the zone here and keep that clock ticking.
Yep, and I mean, that was a really big direct as well, just delaying that retake even further. Speaking of, there's Jamomo with another big pick, but the rest of the zone is flipped because Slasher's on the flank, is able to provide a jump to Shiaki as well, and Blondie ends up going down too. That's a constant stagger on the side of João Lixtas. Demella Ballon d'Or, they are not done yet. No penalty really left for them to shoot through. It's just to close in on that lead, about 40 points back. And with the tactical and with 2 specials on the board, with the Snipcaster and the Tri-Strikes that just went down, so they don't have them anymore. This could seriously like quickly flip, especially with the pick on the Arc right there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's gonna flip, but not. You see Blondie on a bit of a flank, able to get a double kill as bodies are gonna drop in the zone. Slasher going down, another one going down. Booyah's coming out to get Fox out of there, forcing them forward and forcing them in a really awkward position, and that will be just enough to get João Lixtas the zone here, but not a whole lot more because there are still fighting. Demella Ballon d'Or are not going anywhere. Nice double kill from the bucket, looking for a triple kill, and able to get the triple delayed wipeout for João Lixtas. So just as quickly as they lost zone, they got it, and they're looking to hold on even better as Rouse going down once again.
Yup, that Slosher's doing so much work, finds Arc as well, and the Demella Ballon d'Or, they're back in it. They only have 10 penalty points left, and with the sword ending up dropping as well. They could very realistically close down this lead. In fact, I think it's almost a guarantee here, as nobody is really back up able to contest the zone. The Splattershot Pro is just watching this drop, able to punish Blondie, who doesn't even make it, and there's the lead flip. Nobody's able to move on to the zone. It's just the Snipe Rider left.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
And you give an inch, and they will take a mile. And Vendele Ballon d'Or, they are not giving up. They have gotten their map, and they need to answer back with 2 more.
Yeah, you gave them an inch, they took a mile, maybe even more than that. As Dembele Ballon d'Or, they had a little bit of life left into them, especially after that first really big push from João Lextaz. It felt like what was going to happen from game 2 was going to happen in game 3, but Dembele Ballon d'Or, they were watching the flanks, they were getting the picks, the bucket for them. Shout out, just putting in so much work, getting like I believe about 5 or 6 in a row there. Very, very helpful for them. So now Dembele Ballon d'Or, you have some momentum on your side. So I think you're looking good here, especially as we go to game number 3 or game number 4. Sorry, Robo Ramen.
Oh, this is one where that Splattershot Pro, the frozen one, is going to shine as well. I mean, the missiles are just so fantastic at forcing people out of those tight choke points that you know Robo Ramen for, especially on that elbow area where Snipe Rider players often like to set up. That is just a fantastic tool at kind of disturbing and disrupting that very linear positioning. And that's something that João Lextas are going to have to find a way of dealing with. That I don't think it's going to be easy, but there's the Kraken brush right there. Immediate switch back. No other switches outside of that. And I mean, that could be the play. That invincibility that punishes a lot of the, stall or slow plays from maybe being stuck in missiles. I kind of like the idea there.
Yeah, I do too. And Dembele Ballon d'Or says no as an immediate kill, so then get them the zone, but they're gonna be traded out really quickly. So we're gonna see João Lextas trying to fight back here. Dembele Ballon d'Or getting a couple points on the board. You know, a nice early lead, but can they capitalize on that? It looks like not quite as much as they would have liked, as João Lextas able to very, very quickly just recapture it. And you see how far up they pushed. You see how they got the snipe immediately and looking for even more here.
They're not giving the Ballon d'Or anything, any kind of space to work with. As soon as they back up, they have a Booyah Bomb to immediately contest that space. Blondie's already trying to pressure, I believe, the Slosher that drops. Slasher gets immediately picked off by that S-Blast. The strikes are coming through, but I don't even know if they're going to neutralize the zone. Just barely.
3 down.
It's just Arc left on that S-Blast going to have to jump out here. And the Ballon d'Or, they do have the space to work with. They have the tactical clear up now. But I mean, they don't have that much utility, so how long is this hold really going to last for them?
Well, we're going to see as Blondie in a bit of a flank, they're going to go now, so that's going to be a little bit longer. They're going to be in control of the zone. Booyah coming out for for João Lextas, sorry, able to get it. Slasher going down. Bucket still in zone against Arc. They're going to go down to the pencil, and Dembele Ballon d'Or able to hold onto the zone. Even though they do have a penalty points, they're still in control of the zone, but maybe not for long, as the Kraken and the Stamper are going to come out, able to get one, looking for even more, but force it back just to keep, or just forcing themselves to stay alive. They would get another one before going down. So João Lextas doing what they can to just keep control of his zone, and so far they're doing a pretty good job of it.
Oh yeah, this has been really solid so far. Fox is just trying to find a pick on that left-hand side, as the rest of the team, I believe Donkey was able to get one. But this Sword just finds 2 just to trade things out, looking for that third. Finds a 70 damage chip onto Fox, but not able to find much more after that. The strikes are coming through, neutralizing the zone, preventing the score from being further dropped, but it's only Slasher and Chiaki left, and they're going to have to just deal with the rest of the team. Reval gets picked off by Slasher. Wait a minute. No, never mind. Blondie's able to find that trade.
10 seconds.
And with 10 seconds left, João Lextas, they have full control of the map.
4, 3, 2, 1.
No opportunities left, and João Lextas, they're able to punch their ticket into winners finals.
We saw that zone was about half a second from flipping. You see it on the map right there. If it was just a second or 2 more, that would have been a flip for Dembele Ballon d'Or, but either way, João Lextas showing a lot of what happened in game, or the last couple of games, where it was there's a lot of fighting like in that middle section of the game, and then they just got one good hold and ran with it. So good job to them. Dembele Ballon d'Or showing a lot of fight, especially in those last 2 games. They were like, it was very back and forth, and unfortunately, they just got locked out at the worst moments.
I mean, that is one of those maps. I mean, all three of those last maps are pretty tough to just be able to retake in. Just by nature of how they flow and everything, it is tough to kind of get a consistent retake. Oftentimes, you'll end up giving the other team about 60 points before you're able to do so. And that's if a fight goes your way. Oftentimes that's just not the case. You'll end up getting 100-0 sometimes. And I mean, that's kind of what happened here. Now, granted, Dembele Ballon d'Or, they still have a couple of really solid plays there, especially on those games 2 and 3. I think they did a fantastic job. So they're gonna definitely be one of the teams you have to keep an eye out for in this lower bracket. But I mean, before that, we're gonna have to cut to a break, and we will be back with winners semis or winners finals.
Winners finals.
All right, I don't know if we're doing winners finals or if Homa and Mari are doing winners finals.
It's kind of close because by the time we're done, it'll be like already like past 4 o'clock. So are we doing it?
I don't know.
I think so.
I think we should probably check in with PA and Mari and Toma and see what they want to do. Usually comes shifts after they. In my experience, recently they've shifted either like right after winners finals or right before winners finals. This is the set where it's like, oh, comms are still on the stream. Hi guys. Welcome back to Triton Cup 114. I'm Sigdakari. Joining me on the mic for just like 20 more seconds is topic. It's going to be all you hear from us for the rest of the tourney, but we are handing off to two fantastic commentators in Toma and Mari in just a couple of minutes. But topic, before we head out, where can the lovely people find you?
Yeah, you can find me over mainly on Blue Sky at topical2.bluesky.social. Post about where I'm commenting next and other stuff. I feel like it. Kari, what about you?
You can find me just about anywhere the Splatoon community hangs out, whether that's Blue Sky, Discord, Twitter, or even Twitch soon, hopefully, at Sigdakari, like you see just on the previous screen. But with that being said, Mari and Toma, take it away.
Thank you so much. We are immediately getting into the action here, Toma. FT lose versus June like that. Winners finals. I'm so excited for these games. How are you feeling?
Also very excited for these games as well. Seeing we're going to be loading out here, I'm interested to see how this leader versus the pencil are going to play out. It always kind of feels like a little game of 4D chess when you have those two weapons facing off against each other. The pencil, of course, able to just put out so much paint, has that awesome tactical or special online for FT Lose as well, but you know, either can provide a lot of range if it doesn't go down, but right now it looks like FT Lose is going to have early control of the zone. That Stamper trying to move in, creating a little bit of a stagger there as they're moving out, and now FT Lose is trying to look for this great lockout position.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be so careful on this Wahoo Zones map, because when you get that lockout, it's a powerful lockout. Here we see the S-Bot getting in there, getting the N-Zap, and Zone should switch here. There we go. It switches. So far, really back and forth, and we're only in the first minute. But there goes the Brush getting another pick on the side of his June like that.
Yes, they are, and look at that. That's the full wipeout as they're going to be able to move forward here. Now they're kind of flipping the script from the opening where we saw FT Lose coming in so strong. Now it's going to be them that are in charge here, that kicking off that slosher. Look at that. Now we have a Zipcaster moving in, trying to, ooh, a good snipe from that E-leader is going to hold them in position for now. Still not quite able to get out to that zone. They do get a pick on this S-Blast, though. It's going to give them a little bit more of an opportunity to try to get in here, but no, that E-Flush shutting them down. Still the last one alive. Gonna just be holding that space for now. Finally going down, but they still have to get their way into that zone, and it looks like they're finally gonna be able to do so here.
Yeah, that Charger putting down heavy work for the side of FT Lose, hitting all of those good shots, giving them that opportunity to get back in. Oh my gosh, the trade from the S-Bots before getting down. That could have been really bad if he continued to stay there, but luckily he is down now. So here we go, trade after trade again, but I think FT Lose is definitely going to have to get a much stronger hold here if they want to get any points, because, I mean, all the way down to 15, that's pretty strong.
It certainly is strong, but we've seen how Splat Zones games can just spiral out of control if you keep getting these picks, which right now it looks like they're continuing to kind of just stagger out here as FT Lose continues to hold this zone. They're going to be getting through that penalty right now. They're going to be looking at taking that lead. There they go. That lead does swap. They may be able to cap the zone here and to stop FT Lose here for now. Yep, they're going to be applying that penalty there, giving them a little bit of extra time to work with. But I think that definitely on a map like this, there's no real lead that's safe.
No, and I mean, just from this game alone, we keep seeing lead swap after lead swap, like 15 points left. That should be a really strong lead, but we just keep seeing stuff go back and forth. Both of these teams are extremely talented, keep trading back and forth. You see this S-Blast getting 3 with that burst bomb, massive, and I think they might be able to get through this penalty here with that big pick.
I think so as well, especially as they're going to continue to guard this ledge here. We do see the Zap go down on the other side, looking for any potential entry angles as this Booyah Bomb comes out. That zone is going to be in neutral, but it looks like FT Lose for now may be able to hold it. That Booyah Bomb coming out, going to be providing a little bit of extra paint. Just the Stamper left online, and no, not going to be enough. FT Lose is going to take that first game.
That was such an amazing game by both teams. Awesome to start off our winners finals set. I feel like that S-Blast is definitely something they're going to have to look out for. Just constantly getting those good picks. hitting every single direct. I know I hate it when I go up against a blaster, it's every single direct. So I know that Junes like that is probably thinking, what can we do better against that blaster?
Yeah, that blaster was huge, huge, huge on the side of FT Lose. And I mean, it's really, we're looking at Mako Mart coming up here, right? And if we talk about how it was able to watch those ledges on Oahu World, it's going to be a really, really similar story here on Mako Mart, which has so many ledges around, you know, down in the freezer, over on that left-hand side, you know, around all the stacks is going to be a really good opportunity for kind of these pokey AoE weapons to really be able to shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with a leader. That leader can just position on that right stack on offense and kind of hit every single shot straight into your own spawn. When you're going up against a good leader like that, you really have to make sure that you use just all of your cover. Even then, you have to make sure that you use specials, you use your main weapons, you use your subs on just that one guy, forgetting 3 other teammates too.
Exactly. When you have such a strong weapon-like leader that holds down so much space, like you said, I think it's really important that you're trying to move it. Because with every shot that it takes, it's threatening to take one of your players off the map, and they can do it from pretty much uncontested range. So, yeah, using a lot of resources to be able to divert that leader, get it out of position, and potentially be able to get a splat on it is really, really huge if you're able to get that opportunity. But at the same time, it's kind of playing a little bit of a balancing game with your resources, because if you overcommit everything to the leader, you're going to have that S-Blast that just runs in on your side and is able to take you out while you're distracted. So it's going to really be kind of who can play that balancing game a little bit better, because even though we have that really strong leader, right, it's still the pencil on the other side to worry about too, and it presents kind of the same exact problem where you have to decide whether you're going to commit that resource to taking the pencil out, or whether you're going to move forward and try to take maybe some of the frontliners out that are charging at you.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go into Mako zones. I'm really excited by these layouts. I think one thing has changed, and is that the NZAP switching to the 96, or am I losing it, Toma?
I do believe you're correct. I believe that NZAP switched over to that 96, and right now we're going to see an early wipeout on the side of FT Lose. Now we're setting up here to take a lot of space. This can be a difficult lockout as well. Slosher looking to exit here on this right-hand side, but being kept at bay by that pencil, and now that S-Blast under the ledge as well. We can see that they finally found their way out. They do have strikes online to try to be able to take this zone. Their teammates trying to come in. They do find 2, but look at this. The pencil still able to hold that space. The brush trying to come in and get it, but no, not going to be enough. FT Lose now has found their way back into this map, and now they're trying to look to create that lockout situation.
Yeah, Junes like that was a delayed wipe, but that S-Blast does have that Booyah online. They're popping it right now to give that position in. That definitely moves around that that leader, and it allows them to get that captive zone, which does give penalty, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to get in here. Oh, but the sword gets that pick, which is really important, giving them the player advantage and allowing people to come back in as they're getting pick after pick.
Yes, they are, and look at this. Just a beautiful place for that Stamper to be right now. They're looking over to try to provide some pressure. They also have this right-hand side that they can move up. They're going to be getting this Zipcaster out, though. Trying to get some picks there. Not going to be quite able to do so, but the pencil does hold down that zone for now. You can see FT Lose is wasting no time charging in here. They know that they have that man advantage, and they are taking full use of it. Cooler online as well for them. Dropping in to take care of that Scamper. They're going to find a pick there, too. It's going to be really difficult now. You have to kind of make sure that you're not going to rush in too far, that you don't have the support of your team, because otherwise you're going to kind of find yourself in a little bit of sticky situation, which this brush certainly is doing at the moment. But look, you saw how great they kind of scooped over to that right-hand side and waited for the rest of their team to catch back up with them, and now they were able to take that zone pretty effortlessly together.
Yeah, that brush opening up a lot of space for their teammates, doing a wonderful job to take the attention away so that the teammates can come in and just lose the ever-seeing eye of Sauron that is the leader. The zip gets canceled on its way down, and this leader is set up. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get a pick here. They are able to get the pick, but they're 2 down, and the penalty is gone, so timer's ticking down. I don't know how many resources they have to get back in here. They do have that cooler, they have that booyah that they just popped, but I don't know, they're just not getting in based off of those things.
Well, they're not quite finding that space right now, and really it's do or die now with 12 counts left on this zone, but unfortunately that S-Blast going down doesn't look like that's going to be their final opportunity there. It looks like we are tying the setup now 1-1. Both of these teams really hungry to try to stay on the winner's side of this bracket.
Yeah, both teams are doing an excellent job and an excellent showing. Junik Das definitely was on the upper hand there, which was surprising given how dominant FT Lose felt that first game. Like, it was pretty even, but once FT Lose had that zone for their final push, they held that zone. So it was very cool to see that domination from Junik Das. Maybe it has to do with the weapon comp that FT Lose switched to, or maybe it has to do with just some, strategizing behind the scenes between a game.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can be. I think that a lot of times these high-level teams that you see coming in at, the winners finals, grand finals, they know how to adapt in between games. They're really capable of analyzing, hey, what went wrong with that game? Let's make corrections, and able to apply them immediately. And I think we were really able to see them adapt there.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the thing that differentiates like higher level players from lower level players is how quickly you make those adaptations. Those adaptations can be life or death in a set as close as this one has been so far. And another switch, we're seeing coolerless from the side of FT Lose with that grab being opted out. And that new Octobrush coming out from the side of Junik Das. I'm really excited to see these comp changes.
I'm noticing the triple special charge on that splash, and I'm like, okay, we're farming crab. We want as many crabs as possible.
I mean, you gotta think about it. If you are exchanging that cooler for crabs, then maybe you gotta get as much out of it as possible. But early zone cap from Junik Das, they got that 3-down opportunity, and now they're able to get this cap and domination here. Nice trade out from that bucket, but it's just that crab online, and they have a sword behind them, so I'm not sure if they'll really be able to do much here.
Well, they are able to get that pick, though. Not going to be able to get in the zone with it. They do drop here onto this right-hand side. The Stamper sees them, though, dropping in to take them out. They do get a trade, but right now, FT Lose really needs to find this zone. Those Tri-Strike's going to help them get that online, and they are able to find the cap there. They have a Booyah Bomb online to try to follow up. They need to move in on that right-hand side and find that blaster, which they do, but that brush is able to stall their push just a little bit longer there. We see that they still maintain control of this zone, but they're not really able to get in front of it like they might want to.
Yeah, nice punish from that leader onto that Octobrush that could have been really disastrous. And I think that crab got the other person flanking from behind. Leader getting that pick on the pencil could be huge, as it's just that blaster here, and they immediately get punished, so that's a lead shift. It feels like you blink for 1 second, they just got zoned, but suddenly we're getting a lead shift already.
Exactly. I mean, that's the speed that these teams move at. The crab is coming out. That Stamper going to zip cast in there to try to stall it out. And the zone turning purple there, able to get back in. Look at that. It's just a splash back online now, too. Fighting there in the corner for its life, but it doesn't look like they're going to get too much space out of that fight. And now you can already see, look here at this pencil setting up in a really dominant position to try to hold this zone. The splash does eventually come from behind, but isn't able to make enough out of it.
Yeah, that pencil's trying to keep a close eye on that leader, make sure they can't do much. That leader managed to get 1 pick though. I think they were cooler, so they immediately came back. But they did get 2 on the side of FT Lose, which, when you're not cooler, that's so much worse for you to get picked off. And I think this will probably be a lead shift unless something crazy happens, which, no, it does not. I don't think my heart could take it.
And that would be crazy right here. They are just 8 counts away from taking that, and look at this. That Booyah Bomb coming in, FT Lose gonna find that zone cap, at the very least gonna be applying some penalty there to keep them in the game just a little bit longer. That E-leader providing a great snipe here, but look at it, you have people that are potentially looking behind, trying to stop them from coming back in. There's a lot of pressure from all sides that force that E-leader to kind of drop back down. Now that they have a crab online though, this is their opportunity to really move forward and get something going. The E-leader sees the person on the right-hand side, not going to be able to pick them out, but that jump does come out, and now FT Lose is sitting up in that good position that you want to see them in, but do they know? The brush behind them, able to get in, able to get two, and able to look at this zone and potentially even get their team to cap it if they can just get that paint back in.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, huge flank from that Octobrush, managing to get two down and forcing that splash out of the zone and letting their team get back in. I thought that FT Loose was finally having a really strong hold there, but unfortunately no, as they continue to go two down. They do have to pop that crab in their base. That just shows you how far up Junlaitas is pushed up. They're providing so much pressure right now, and the penalty points are ticking down. This is a matter of life and death right now.
Yes, it certainly is. They're going to be trying to get back in on these last few seconds. It looks like they may be able to, as long as they can take the Stamper out. Looking for that trade. Yes, they're able to get in. They're going to get this zone cap. Now they're going to have at least one more opportunity here, but a mighty 50 penalty to work through is quite intimidating. And they have to look out, looking in for this flank. That brush going down this time. That was a great call to kind of stay behind and look for that coming out.
Oh, beautiful adaptation from FT Lose. You saw how they were immediately looking for that. You know, they learned from it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They showed no shame on them. And they're getting this really good hold, but unfortunately, FT Lose is already two down the moment that they get through their penalty points. But I feel like they're keeping it equal. They're keeping it close. And I think they're, oh my gosh, that's a lead shift, unless the Octobrush is unable to do anything about it, which they're not. And that is a really sudden win and reversal from FT Lose.
Yeah, I think those tri-strikes stalling out time on that zone, and then that crab just kind of balling up, knowing that it can kind of drop there on that left-hand side. If anybody drops, right, to chase it, okay, that's one less person that's going to be putting paint on the zone. So there was kind of just a lot of distraction plays and a lot of stalling of the time to allow them to hold on to that zone just long enough to be able to eat through that rest of that time and find that lead swap there. It was really, really well played.
Yeah. So, FT Lose is once again in the lead. I thought Junlaitas would be able to take that game, but no, FT Lose reversal, you know, proved me wrong. But if we are following a trend here, then this next game should go to Junlaitas, and we should get a game 5, which, you know, we would love to see.
Never going to be upset about a game 5, but you know, 2 for FT win, right? Or FT lose. Sorry, they won, but they are FT lose. They're coming off with a lot of momentum in their sales, I think, off that game, because now, you know, I don't think a team of this caliber is ever going to sit too high and mighty, right? They're not going to think, oh, we got this in the bag, but they have a little bit of breathing room now, knowing that they have 2 more games and they only need to win one of them. So they just want to try to keep calm, keep that in mind, that they don't want to do anything overly risky that could potentially end up with them, you know, throwing that away. So they just need to kind of be aware that, hey, we know how these teams have played over these past 3 games, actually. We just need to kind of play to our win advantage. We've seen like how well that Blaster plays for them as well. And I think that Splash did such a great job for them too, that they just kind of need to keep those things in mind. But saying that, as the Splash, it's changing again, right? We saw Splash, we saw Inzap, and now we're seeing that Nozzle Nose.
What in the nozzle nose? Holy moly, that is a weapon that we do not see very much. And they are immediately taking in that pacing. Getting 2 down, now they're back up. Getting that crab back online. Wow, that's getting it fast. I wonder if they have some special charge. But they're in their base. They got 3 down.
They sure are.
This is already such a lockout heavy map. How are they going to get back in those?
It's going to be really difficult without some specials online to potentially help. They do have a hammer they're going to be tossing at that crab. But look at this leader trying to help prevent phase, this brush going in, trying to fight with that nozzle nose. That zone is finally neutralized. Both teams vying for that cap. It looks like they are going to be able to apply the penalty to FT Lose there, but still, just so much scrappy fights happening out here. It finally looks like FT Lose may be on the back foot here, but even then, that leader finds a nice snipe at the right time to be able to just buy a little bit more time for their team to respawn.
Yeah, if you see that leader positioned on that snipe, they will most likely hit that shot on you, and you are most likely doomed. Which is exactly what they just showed to them, getting that wipeout, getting several good shots, and immediately pushing so far up. You see how far up these players position? They are not afraid to get into your face and get into your zone. But also, Jin like Das is not afraid to get in their face either.
Definitely are not moving in there. That Slosher, though, in the pit, finding a great pick. Going to be moving up here, trying to open in some more space for FT Lose, but unfortunately not going to be quite enough in that moment. The Blaster still fighting out, gets a great pick on the Ink Brush. Now looking to the side, trying to fight out that other Blaster, doesn't go down, unfortunately. And this Crab just now trying to do everything it can. It looks like we are seeing FT Lose kind of lose its footing. Once again, a great burst bomb there, going to be picking one out. And the S-Blast, gosh, these S-Blasts are just finding great value on both sides of the field.
Yeah, getting that pick on the E-Leader, that is really massive because, you know, I've said it multiple times, no cooler, they're going to be so much delayed in getting in. This will most likely be a lead shift in like 1 second. There we go, there's the lead shift. Immediately turning this game around. Maybe they will be able to keep it that way, but no, FT Lose able to get that zone again and able to get a delayed wipe once again.
That's great for them. They even see one down there in the pit, but unfortunately, look at that Ink Brush moving in alongside that Snipe Rider, getting a great pick there to try to find their way back in, but they've got to watch out for that bucket, I was about to say, as it gets picked as well. We may see a lead swap if they can't get to this zone fast enough, and there it goes once again, but FT Lose at the moment still just trying to hold on to that zone as much as they can. The Brush trying everything it can, not going to quite be enough as this zone is in that neutral state. The Crab Tank trying to flip it over, and FT Loses a favor, but again, look at that Stamper. There's just specials going out all over the zone, and it's still in neutral. We can't find someone to take control of it.
No, scrappy fights are happening left and right. No one is taking control of this zone. Finally, FT Lose was able to take control of this zone, but points are ticking down. That leader is positioned in mid. They are looking for you and they will find you. They have been doing this whole time, and it's 3 down. Jumps are getting punished left and right. This is going to be the win for FT Lose, and they take the set.
Gosh, what a back and forth game, though. That was so insanely close. We saw amazing plays from both sides, especially, gosh, the blasters on both sides were just absolutely incredible at getting there and fighting and just kind of creating those skirmishes that really would draw attention and would kind of be the make or break plays, I think, for a lot of the parts of whether they could get back in and get the zone. Also, shout out to that Brush as well. I think was really good at flanking, kind of drawing attention as well, finding some surprise picks, especially on that Hagglefish game. Even if they didn't end up winning, I thought it was a really great display.
Absolutely. I think also that's just a hard map for their comp in general, because you talk about how the Brush gets those wonderful flanks, but where does that Brush get that flank from when you're on Barnacle? The alleys are patrolled by an E-Leader at all times. You have no positions to get in there.
Yeah, it's just really so difficult, but they made it work time and time again, and I think that's super impressive. You know, I admire it, right? As I am a brush enthusiast myself, playing Pain, Octobrush, Ink Brush, right? So seeing players get in like that, be able to create those fights, draw that attention, it's really fun. It's kind of the play that I want to be able to see myself doing one day.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break for the moment, and we will be back with some losers bracket stuff. Be excited to see that.
everybody, welcome back. We are back for Triton Cup, and we are going to be, look at, what are we in? This is the losers semis? Losers semis, yes, making sure that we're correct here. And we have Heelbook versus Yo going in, and I see a few familiar faces across both teams. Here we see JJ, Adapt Prosper, I see Laren, I see Splat, Ali, there's so many good teams, right? Still left here at the end that are really fighting it out to try to scramble back up there to grand finals, and I think that we've got a good set ahead of us.
Yeah, I think something I'm really excited about for this set is actually the map list. So we are going to start out on a map that we do not see a ton. We're going to start out on the Zones Marlin. This is something that I have not seen in a while, and I'm really excited to see it at this high level of play. Cause I mean, I think I've only played it in opens.
I think the last time I played it was at my local LAN, and everybody looked at the TO and was like, Dio, why are we playing this map list? And Dio smiled at us, and we're like, okay. They're like, we see you, Dio. But I'm also excited to see it. It's a very interesting one. Not super often played in tournaments, so maybe one that the teams are not as familiar with, right? And it's always, I think, very interesting to see what they can kind of come up with to adapt on the fly to situations that they're not super familiar with.
Yeah, I think something interesting that's starting to happen is that since we're starting to embrace basically all zones maps as a whole, we're starting to see something I like to call the map diff. If you're not familiar with the map, you will probably get diffed on that map. But here we go in the loser semis, Heelbook versus Yo. Let's take a look at these comps, and oh my gosh, is that a Luna Blaster?
It does look like that's a Luna Blaster coming out from SunCon there. Very exciting to see. We have a blaster on both sides, not the same one, of course. We got the bucket coming out, very usual pick. I always love to see, I'm sure that's JJ there on that Brella. JJ's like the Brella goat. Really excited to see how that's going to play out. But right now, Heelbook taking a very early cap of this zone. But definitely not going to last for long here as Prosper trying to neutralize that zone, looking to be able to cap it in Yo's favor. And now that they've got that, look at that. JJ already moving forward really fast on that Brella to try to create some space for Yo to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. We see this really strong hold already happening. That Zipcast is getting one pick, maybe getting able to get another. Oh, they're so low, but their teammate was able to finish them off. There's a blaster in zone, immediately gets punished after the splashdown though. Points are going down, but I mean, when you have a zone this close to your spawn, you can kind of just walk out into the zone and immediately start fighting. So I'm not sure how low they're going to be able to get this, but I mean, points keep ticking down. I mean, this is already a pretty solid lead.
Yes, it is. And now the strike's coming out for Yo, and they're going to be able to find that cap, able to apply some penalty to Heelbook there as that pencil now just raining down a lot of paint. But is it going to be enough? We're now 2 down on both sides. Looks like Heelbook trying to get in there on the right side, but is unfortunately going to go down. Just JJ there left to try to fight out against all of the Yo, collapsing in on them. Not going to be quite so successful. And now through that penalty, right, we're looking to see if Yo can threaten a lead change here.
Yeah, points are ticking down. They got about halfway, you know, that's pretty good. But still a fair amount to go. With that sword in your face, that's going to be kind of tough. And I don't think the sword has been able to get any picks right now, but Sencon coming in with that Luna Blaster, giving their teammates space to get that zone. They did pop the crab on the side of Yo. That's going to give them a little bit more space, and they get 2 down pretty good, punishing that Inkjet especially. But we have a penalty. That's something. And it doesn't look like they have much time to get back in there.
No, it's going to be really difficult. You can already see that blaster forced to drop off, and then they're going to be, oh, this triple splashdown coming out, but not going to be able to find anybody. But it seems still that the members of Heelbook are still just kind of scattered, as this lead is definitely going to be changing here and now as Heelbook tries to respawn to get back in here and see if they can retake that zone. You see there is that lead change, and we see again this blaster is just really distracting here on this right-hand side, making it really hard for the members of Heelbook to get back in, as the rest of the members of Yo kind of to watch that left side. They have both sides kind of locked down, making it really difficult. Just that last jump in with the full wipeout, Yo gonna take that first game. I think it was really, really well done how they kind of like talk about that blaster watching the right side and then the rest of them kind of watching the left side, really leaving no room for Heelbook to be able to drop out undetected.
Yeah, it's kind of like a you're trying. That blaster was trying to get them to go that right side. You know, I'm over here, look at me. You can't drop on me though, because I will get you for my one shot. So you want to go over to the right. The right should be open. No, my teammates are over there and they'll get you the moment you drop. It's such a hard position to be in, and I mean, that is a really lockout heavy map. I said that you can kind of just walk into zone, but also your opponents can just walk into your spawn. So it goes two ways.
Yes, it certainly does. And I mean, talking about lockout heavy maps, we're back to Barnacle, and Barnacle is also another notoriously lockout heavy map. So the real question here is going to see how are we going to see Heelbook adapt to this? Are they going to be able to find an answer to the aggression that Yo has and how well they're able to watch all the angles of entry? Or are we going to kind of see it replay and repeat and we're going to just see Yo be able to get back in and get another pretty seamless victory?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this goes. I think, for me, so one of the standout things that last game was the sword. The sword did a really good job getting in their face. I mean, besides the blaster, of course, but the sword did a really good job getting in their face, and you know, that object damage is not something you want in your face when you have Umbrella.
Oh, it definitely isn't something that you want in your face. It's really, really difficult to be able to handle, and you have to kind of be able to do it on the fly, especially like that. I think that, you know, that being a map that was really difficult, that's really unfamiliar for players, we may see a little bit more solid footing for Heelbook coming out. And I also still had really good opportunities when they got into mid. They were holding it. They were able to perform really well. So I think our playing field is going to be a little bit more even here as we open out on this first part. But it looks like early on that Stamper going to go down. And you can already see that Yo takes a very aggressive opening here, able to force back the members of Yo. This Blaster is just kind of scrambling here, going back to get that cooler, but really hard time moving in, especially with Ori there, just providing so much chip over those ledges, making it really threatening to be able to find your way in.
Yeah, the Slosh are doing a great job playing all of their angles, making sure to get all those things played. But they are able to get in from Heelbook and get that zone. Zencon able to get that one pick, get two, oh my gosh, and does it get another? Nope, unfortunately, but their teammates should be able to clean up. Oh no, unfortunately they are not. And that Splash is able to immediately get into Snipe and Crab, maybe in a minute. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so they're going to hold that to try to force the members of Heelbook even further back right now. But in this process, you can see already two are down on the side of Yo, and it looks like actually, after all the specials were popped and everything was said and done, Heelbook is actually the one who gained some ground off of that. This Watana trying to look over there and pressure that Snipe kind of area with as much pressure as it has available to us, but it looks like it's quickly noticing that there aren't too much threats over there as it can just kind of bomb it from afar. Strikes go out, but not able to really push through them here at the moment, especially as this Blaster is from behind, threatening to be able to do stuff, but they do turn around, are able to pick it. We now have two specials on the line on the side of Yo, but will they be able to get to use them? One comes out, the splashdown is going to be able to find them, but we already see, look at that. Oh, the fight's going on. It looks like they may be able to hold that zone if JJ can get back there, but between the Crab and that Pencil, Yo is going to take that opportunity to be able to recap that zone. But that was a really good push from Heelbook.
Yeah, that Splash getting a really good pick on that edit there. Oh my gosh. But just that play from Sencon, getting those jumps, that was really good for slowing it down. The timer is your biggest enemy, not your opponent. You have to play stall or play aggro, whatever you do. You just have to do it within the timer. Once that's through, you're all done. This timer, by the way, is about to go into the lead for Yo again. And so I think Heelbook should be able to get back in here.
Ooh.
Oh, goes this.
Yes, they are able to get that cap. It was looking a little bit scary there for a second when JJ went down. I didn't think that the Stamper was going to be able to quite get in there like they did. But with a jump in from a teammate at the right time on that Luna, they were able to take that back. Now they have a little bit of penalty to be able to eat through before they can potentially take this lead back. But 2 down is already looking a little bit scary for them.
Yeah, JJ positions really well here, causing some mischief. Unable to get anything, but does give some extra time to go through some extra penalty points. Yo able to get that zone back. 2 are down on the side of Heelbook. They are coming back in, but I mean, Yo has a crab staring straight into their base. That's really strong positionings on their side. And that pen is completely set up. I'm not sure how Heelbook should be able to get back in here without using a lot of resources on this.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. They do have to make a break for it. They do have those strikes right now. Then Luna has that hammer as well. Going to be trying to come back here in that zone, looking at popping it here to see if they can do anything with it, but unfortunately are going to get picked out before they can make a decisive play. Now they have to really rush this zone if they want a chance, but it doesn't look like they're going to have enough time, and that's going to be Yo taking that set 2-0.
Yeah, Heelbook kept it really close, but it felt like Heelbook came out of the gates running, but Yo run the race of endurance.
Yes, they certainly did. I think that they just had really good, like I talked about on the other map too, is that they just had really good lockdowns on their entries, right? If Heelbook thought that they were going to go one way, they were already looking there before Heelbook was able to get there. And with the weapons that are able to just check ledges like that Slosher is so much, it's really, really hard. It's really oppressive to be able to break through a force like that if they're already kind of pre-firing where you need to go.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a blaster under one spot and you have a slosher under the other, and then you have a splash activating crab all the way over there, that's really tough to deal with. That's a lot in your face. That's a lot of chip. And then, I mean, you still have to get through a pen.
Yeah, it can be really, really a lot, but they're going to be keeping their hopes alive, Yo, is as they move on to our losers bracket finals. We're going to be fighting one last chance to try to make it up all the way to grands, but stick with us. We'll be back with losers finals in just a few minutes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Mari, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Toma, and we are back with Titan Cup. Titan Cup 114, and here we are in losers brackets finals. We have Yo versus Juan Lectas. I think I pronounced
Jean
that.
Lextaz, I think. Jean Lextaz. Something close enough to that.
We're trying our
and
best.
for all the Europeans on mic, I'm so sorry that you are on mic with two Americans who are butchering your team's name. But that being said, we've seen both of these teams in action. Of course, we saw Jean Lextaz on the side of winners with FT Lose, and we just saw Yo with a great 2-0 win over Heelbook. So very excited to see what these teams bring against each other. We've already seen a little bit of the power that they play with. Both have put on some impressive shows, but it's now time for them to show off, and they're going to be starting off on Crableg Capital Slat Zones.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We saw Jean Lextas in winners finals where they put on a beautiful showing against FT Lose. Kept it really close with a 1-3 loss. But Yo just had a really good set against Steelbook, so I'm really excited to see what they're showing. And we get a leader here. Of course we get a leader here, but I'm so excited to see this leader player.
We've seen this matchup already kind of play out before, so we'll see if it's any different than it has been before. Right now, Yo taking a pretty commanding lead of that zone with a nice wipeout there. The Stamper here trying to move in, and that's like you see it wipe out again as they just got back in ahead of their team and weren't able to really do much to get back in. Now you've got that leader, very intimidating, looking out as the pencil tries to take it out, but it's going to be a really difficult for it, especially when you've got that bucket watching one side coming in. Look here, and that blaster is going to be poking there, trying to figure out to find another one too. The brush doing great things as the brush has done alongside that blaster, trying to find a way back in for Jean Lextaz as it throws that Booyah Bomb. They are going to be able to find this cap here potentially as long as they can get that in-zap out of there, which they finally do. And now they're able to kind of stabilize here a little bit, but that was after a push all the way down to 32, which is definitely a great opening push for Yo.
Yeah, you see that whale getting popped, kind of preventing any possible drops here. That strikes coming into zone does let it get uncapped, but two people are still alive. That leader managed to get capped all on their own, but kind of a scrap happening in this pit here. Oh, nice shot by the S-Blast. And it looks like the zone should go to Yo for the moment.
Yes, Yo's doing a great job of holding that out. They've got everybody kind of piled up in that right-hand corner there. As you see, there are jump outs from that Stamper. Going to be trying to look to kind of reset this. Looking over for entry on that left-hand side, but you can already see the leader there. Already knowing that's the way that they're going to be looking, and I've talked time and time again about how Yo is really good at watching those entry equals. The leader just barely misses its shot on that Stamper, but already that bucket is ready to compete with it as it moves out, and that Zipcast is not going to be able to find its target. Now just 12 counts remaining left on this zone. Yo is in a position to be able to wipe out. They just have to hold out through this Booyah Bomb, and they are going to be able to. Yo taking that first game. Jean Lextaz, they're going to be sitting a little bit on the back burner here. They're going to be looking to try to come back next game, and it's still a best of 5 here in losers finals, so have quite a few more opportunities to be able to break back in here.
Yeah, really dominant game from Yo. I'm very surprised to see how dominant it was. Maybe it was the unexpected pick of leader on that map. I mean, leader can be so dominant, just positioning on that right grates as we saw them do. Taking that strong position, getting picks from inside your base, you're not able to do much against it. And when we did see that Zipcaster come out to try to displace that pencil, the teammates of the displace that leader, the leader's teammates were immediately on it.
They are so good at being able to just fight together Watch every possible angle, like I've been saying before. Like that leader threatens one side, the blaster, the bucket can look at the other side, and it's really, really difficult to find your footing against a team like Yo that really uses their range so effectively to be able to kind of spread themselves out across the map and make it really, really difficult because you have to take risky fights against them. And you see that like that Zipcaster, it tried to move in, right? It tried to get that leader. That's in on paper is exactly what you should be doing. It's the right call. But Yo is able to just respond so well for it that it doesn't matter if you're making the right plays or not, right? You kind of have to just end up brute forcing it one way or another.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we saw. Even when Jean Lectas took that zone, it was mostly after a scrappy fight in mid. Two went down from both sides, and it was just like a barely good zone. Not even much of a hold going on, and any hold that they did have immediately went away after like 5 seconds once the leader got set up.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. Like that leader, like I said before, time and time again, it just threatens so much space. It's really good at holding down. While that pin can put down a lot of paint, it's outranged, right? That leader can get a snipe on it. All of a sudden, a lot of your paint and all of your range is gone. And so it's really kind of that game of knowing your matchup, knowing where you need to be and at the right time. And right now, I think we're seeing Yo play that game just a little bit better.
Yeah, here we go. One already down, cooler out. I think the zone for the moment should go in favor of Yo, but fights happening all over mid right now. The sword coming out gets punished to go down, and that brush coming from behind, but has to make a scrappy exit. Unfortunately, unable to make that exit though.
Yeah, they certainly aren't able to get out, and they already know. They see how they are poking up at that Stamper up here. They know exactly where it was. It's now going to be dropping, but a great flick from that leader are going to be taking them out of commission. And this is what I'm talking about. They're very aware of where you're going to try to come from. That leader already saw somebody on that right hand. That Booyah Bomb did save their life. But had they not had that up, that leader was really in just prime position to be able to snipe them. Even the brush coming in from behind, getting picked off just at the right time. This zone now in that neutral state. This ends up doing everything it can to hold it, and that bucket's coming in on the backside to try to close up the fight and really pincer off everything with everybody. Look at that. Just beautiful, beautiful teamwork from the side of Yo. It was a little bit extended, right? They extended the fight out because they knew that they had the opportunity to. And in doing so, they still kept that zone and were able to keep all their members alive.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the zone didn't get capped there because, I mean, they had a lead of several players. You get the zone here, but the wipe out when the fight goes on. And yes, that's a big penalty by the side of Yo. But when you're playing this game and when you just got wiped out, you're stuck in your spawn and you have no way out of it. So you're just gonna kind of hang out there and hope for the best. But that brush getting behind, getting these good picks, being able to give them the opportunity to get back in.
Ooh, and unfortunately, looks like that brush just clipping the ledge of that, not going to be quite getting that target that they wanted, but they do continue to fight. They're able to pick off that bucket. Now looping around to find another one. This is what I'm talking about with that brush, those great flanks. You have to be aware of it, and they have been up until this point, but now it's really just kind of running circles around them, able to pick out key members of Yo's defense and able to keep them just stuck up in their base, up there on that right-hand side. It does look like Yo finally dropping, finally committing to this mid-fight as they're in here, and it looks like they may be able to flip the zone as long as they can just apply a little bit more to it. There it goes, and now just that pencil online. Yo is getting back into that really dominant lockout position that we've seen them in before.
Yeah, Stas got back into the game through that. So having those points online means they can get back in with that 2 minutes. But penalty is almost up actually, 20 seconds left. And it's only that pencil. That's not what you want to see when you only have like 12 points between you and knockouts.
No, you definitely don't want to. And look at those strikes, the splashdown as well, just everything coming out to keep that zone in their favor as that timer ticks down, and that's going to be Yo. Now taking this set up to 2-0, threatening their match point here to try to go up to grand finals.
Yeah, I was not ready for that knockout on the side of Yo. I was like, we have so much time. They have so much opportunities to get in here, and suddenly, boom, just the pen online, and it's only 12 seconds left before knockout.
God, that's the Go moves with such speed, right? And you can kind of see in their gameplay when they did get locked out, right? They all kind of hung back for a bit when those brushes was getting those really good picks, right? You weren't seeing them kind of drop carelessly. They played a really slow game on that re-entry, waiting until they knew they were together, until they had the right moment. And then once they dropped, they just cleanly won the fight and then just reestablished themselves in that lockout position so fast. They're a team that knows exactly where they want to be. It's just a matter of being able to group up together at the right time. And they know as soon as they're there, they just got a full steam ahead and they don't hesitate. I think that's one thing that's really good about this team is that there's no hesitation in their gameplay. You can see how familiar they are with each other, where they know exactly where each other are going to go, where they're going to look, and that kind of teamwork just keeps edging Jolitas out, and it's making it really hard for them to find those re-entries, able to establish themselves in mid when you're fighting a team that's so well coordinated.
Yeah, here we go into match point. On Haggle Zones, this should be a bit of a more medium map. You know, this is the bread and butter. Everyone knows this map. Everyone's played it a million times. And looks like we have similar comps coming out, but Jean Lectas has that mini coming out and that bubble from the mini.
Yes, they are going to try that, and a little bit of a new addition to their comp to see if they have, it's kind of last-ditch effort, right? 2 down, you need to throw something at the wall and see if it sticks, so they're going to be trying that out. Right now, though, that mini is going to be down, so no bubble to be had on their side, as it looks like Yo going to be getting in here and getting that zone cap and continuing to kill the members of Zone Lextaz there, keeping them out of that zone. It's just that blaster now versus that inzap. Oh, but the blaster's actually gonna win the fight. So Jumnix's gonna stay in that power position for now. We're gonna have to see Yo kind of patiently play that waiting game, like I said, waiting to regroup and wait for the right time to get back in.
Yeah, those strikes coming out, taking that zone maybe, uncapping it just for the moment, that the blaster comes over. Oh, I'm surprised that they didn't even uncap, but a wipeout on this side of Yo. Immediate control, and I mean, we're going for risky plays on the side of Yo, and the timer's just ticking down.
Yes, it certainly is. They really need to they have 1 or 2 more chances at max here. Now that leader going down means that it's probably just 1 more chance here. They need to get it all back together. Unfortunately, they're having a little bit of a delayed stagger there as the members of Jumnix are picking them off one by one. Now with them all back up, this is going to be their one real final chance at that zone. The strikes are going out. They're trying to move in there. Is it going to be enough? They're not quite going to be able to get in there on time. Jolnixtas is able to stay in one more game. They're going to be taking this at least to that game 4, looking to make it all the way to the game 5 and be able to reverse sweep.
Yeah, reverse sweep. We would never say no to that. That is some exciting stuff for us to commentate. But that was a completely different team we just saw. I think that mini made all the difference in the world because, that mist slows down your opponents because Yo just has such a electric run forward speed with them. So that mist really slowing them down and that bubble giving them control over areas, I think it really worked out for them and it really messed with Yo.
I think especially that I don't even know how many bubbles we saw, if any, that game, but the mists in particular were really strong in shutting down that top right canopy, right, where your kind of back lines want to sit, where that E-leader really wants to be able to get set up, where you want to throw strikes from and then drop down and push with them, right? Shutting that down and trying to make it really hard to stand up there was really phenomenal and really good for them. And you can kind of recreate that looking at Mahi zones. There's a few places where kind of those anchor players are going to want to stand. And if you have those toxic mists set up trying to stop people from moving through those areas, whether it be through that right-hand drop, or, conversely, you can throw it on the left hand, try to funnel everybody to the right and have players sharking there waiting, right? You can kind of control the flow of movement with that toxic mist if they continue to choose to bring it.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be really good and increase the opportunities of a reverse sweep here, because we're kind of getting into more standard maps here. We had the more out there maps with crab leg zones and wahoo zones, but now we're getting to the things that we're familiar with. We've been playing for like all of Splatoon 3 Mahi now. This is something that everyone thinks of when they think of a zones map, and would be very surprised to see if these teams do not give us a show, but we do see that leader switching back to that pencil there.
Yep, and we do see that mini sticking as well for that Toxic missing that bubble. Like you said, Toxic missed out already on that field, trying to keep that snipe area locked down, making it difficult for that Pencil to be able to do anything on the side of Yo. But right now, the paint does go in Yo's favor. Just that mini left on the right-hand side as they all kind of collapse on it in that bubble. They are able to take it out and break that bubble as well. Now they have control of this zone. They're already looking again on that right-hand side. You see that's where a lot of people are trying to come in, but they've got bombs. That Slosher is here ready, waiting to be able to swat at it. They're able to pick out that backliner as well. And just these scrappy kind of fights are going on. Jolnixash does manage to take the control of the zone with that Booyah Bomb, and now they have 2 down on the side of Yo. This Zipcaster looking in to create some additional pressure. It's really still a back and forth anybody's game at this moment.
Yeah, that Zipcaster's not there to get picks. It's there to create space. It's there to create distractions. It's there to give them the time for points to take down and then get this change. Ooh, wonderful pick on that splash. But all their team is down, so not much they can do here. That pencil backs up there, taking strong positions again. Penalties almost up, and not much of a lead. But, I mean, Jolnixash is pretty well set up here. Ooh!
Yes, we say that, but Yo now able to take control of this zone, threatening to be able to lead shift here if this Pencil can't do much about it to flip that zone. The mini going in, unfortunately going down really fast. And now you see that Pencil forced to back up so that it doesn't continue to stagger the team. But despite that, we still have man advantage on the side of Yo here. We have specials out as well with these price strikes. They're looking out here. Everybody's kind of forced into that snipe area as they continue to pick people out. They just need to keep the paint on this zone and take that blaster out, which they do. It's just the Stamper now trying to move in. They're going to have about one more attempt at this zone. That Crab trying to do everything they can to stop them, but it's looking to be quite grim. And Yo, they're going to be moving on to grand finals, taking this set 3-1.
Yeah, I think Yo just kept calm, kept their wits. I mean, I think it was a really good match last game for Jolnixash, but Yo kept their calm. They're like, okay, we know what they're gonna pull out this game. They're not gonna change it. It worked for them this time. So what can we do against that? And you kind of saw at the end there, Jolnixash was dropping like flies. They were dropping zone, trying to get that zone cap, but nothing they could do could work. And Yo just kept calm and got those picks as they fell down.
Yes, they certainly did. And I mean, I think that's where we kind of saw them regroup, start using that kind of really smart tracking the players that I mentioned before. Mentioned that they were all they were forcing the members of Jolnixash to that snipe area, trying to force them all kind of one area, and then that Slosher just kind of pre-sloshing over and above those ledges, forcing the members of Jolnixash to basically either fully commit to a fight or back up. And in those cases, right, really awful, really difficult decision that you have to make, because either are you going to go down fighting for that zone in those last few seconds, or are you going to back up and then maybe you don't have enough time, right? It kind of makes the forces a little bit of a lose-lose situation. So really, really scary things that especially that Slosher player is able to do. But for now, we're going to go on a quick break as we prepare for grand finals. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Triton Cup. We are in grand finals now. I am Toma, joined by Mari. How excited are you? We have Go versus FT Lose, two teams we've seen put on great performances so far. This is definitely shaping up to be a really good grand finals.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this after that losers finals where Yo put on an incredible performance against their opponent. I think we're ready for a really good game here. Possibly a bracket reset if we're lucky, but you never know with these good teams.
You never know. It's always very it's very, very up in the air about what's gonna happen. So I'm excited to see, it's worth noting. So Go is a team that actually, or Go Yo is a team that dropped down into losers bracket a little bit earlier in their run, right? Going 3-0 to, or going 0-3 to Chocolate Vanilla Swirl, right? But despite dropping down earlier, they're the team that's still standing. Chocolate Vanilla Swirl going out in losers bracket round 5 now. Yo, all the way back in grands. And ooh, look at that grand final! Nice little intro there. I wasn't expecting that. That's really cool.
Here we go. Grand finals for Triton Cup 114. And let's see these comps. I think these are pretty normal comps that we saw from both teams already.
Yeah, this is kind of pretty much the bread and butter for these teams, I think, at this point. Once you've gotten to this point in the tournament, I think teams have kind of found out what worked for them, and if it's not broke, why fix it? Right now we see FT Lose and Yo just both kind of fighting the scrappy fight in mid for that zone control. FT Lose does get that first cap, but that's still so much more. They need to get in front of that zone to really be able to do anything, especially since it's in neutral now. That they are finally able to do, but look at this. Member of Yo behind them, picking off too, putting that zone back in neutral. Ali there fighting it out, trying to find the last one, and Yo does take control of that zone now. And it's still not safe right now as they have to get in there. They do eventually find that one Sharky there. I was like, I know there's somebody there. I knew they were there. I didn't know exactly where they were, but it's really, really important to be able to find those picks. And now they're set up in a pretty good position. We've seen their lockouts before, so how is FT Lose going to be able to find that breakout?
Yeah, scrappy fight after scrappy fight happening, but all of these trades benefit the one who currently has zones, which is Yo. So all of this momentum, oh my gosh, the double from that grab is going in the favor of Yo, and we're just ticking down. We're already to 35 for the side of Yo, and I'm not sure how they're going to be able to get back in there with 2 down on the side of FT Lose.
Yeah, this is really, really big for them at this moment. They just need to continue to hold it for just a little bit longer to potentially be able to take home game 1 here. The Blaster looking there, but the Slosher unfortunately finding them out. But as we say that, it's trade after trade, and just that last player on FT Lose rushing that zone there, not quite able to cap it. Yo taking game 1. It's a huge commanding performance there, and I think this is really what they need to get that momentum in their sales, right? They're already coming off a lot of wins from losers bracket, right? I think you see this a lot in these double elimination tournaments. The team that wins in winners finals, they kind of sit there, right? It's a little bit of time for them to get comfortable, maybe not as warm. Maybe they're just kind of chilling, they're waiting. But you have a team like Yo, who's just fought for its life through losers bracket. It's coming off of win after win after win, and they're on such a hot streak that now they get to carry all that momentum with them into that set, while FT Loses had to just kind of sit there for a while.
Yeah, Yo currently has that adrenaline pumping through their veins. They know what they're doing, they're warmed up, their hands are in the proper positions, everything is moving just like it should be. And FT Lose, they probably did some opens while they were waiting, but opens can't level up to fighting with opponents this level and this skill. So I'm really excited to see how FT Lose is going to do on this next map. I know that FT Lose can be disastrous. Remember that blaster from earlier? This is going to be a really exciting match. I think that FT Lose just needs to get a little warmed up, and hopefully that was their warm-up game.
So that's what they're hoping for too, I think, as we load out, see what they're going to be bringing to the table here. And again, it looks like pretty much more of the same. And actually, is this Splash, splash, bucket, bucket, pencil, pencil. Yeah, this is just a mirror match. This is just a mirror match.
What a comp we have here, guys.
Yes, we sure do. Right now, it looks like Yo making better use of the comp, though, at the moment, as they're able to get that early 2 down onto the side of FT Lose. Now this bucket in a really good position. Unfortunately, just peeking its head up a little bit too high. That Snipe Rider going to be taking them out, getting a nice splat there to add on to the board. But the bucket here on the side of FT Lose is just in a really great position. I say, unfortunately, right as they go down, it looks like FT Lose trying and finally finding their footing. They got those strikes, that Booyah Bomb to get them in, and now that Bucket's able to take that. Oh my, I've got to stop cursing people with the commentators curse. I'm like, wow, they finally got up there. They got control of the strat, and they're gone. Like,
we can just see how evenly matched these teams are because pick after pick is happening right now. Graph is being topped by that splash on the side of Yo, getting that assist, and that blaster maybe getting picked off too as well, and getting that zone before lead couldn't even happen. That is pretty big for them. I mean, giving that penalty to FT Lose when they already had a hard time getting in there, and I apologize. That blaster getting in there, getting that trade, but their teammates are unfortunately too far behind to get back in. They do have that crab, so that will probably be put up in a moment, and there we go. This should be their way back into this game.
You say that, but of course now that splash coming in from the backside. It is still 2 down on Yo. They still are at man disadvantage with a few strikes going out. They are going to unfortunately lose the zone here, but you can see already, oh my gosh, actually a double trade out there from that bucket. And now it's going to be Yo's game to try to be able to get back in here and see if they can make any space. But unfortunately, that blaster doing a great job holding stuff down, looking it back, finding that pencil as well. Now you have to have a really good entry if you are Yo. You have to wait out the opposing Booyah Bomb as they throw it. You have to wait for the right time to use your strikes and your trap. The trap is off. Oh, unfortunate going down, but that Booyah Bomb does hold that zone for FT Lose enough for that lead to flip. Now, if you're Yo, you've really got to find the way back in soon. And it looks like they're trying to here on this right-hand side, but so much is looking there. That pencil's looking there. There's so much pressure. That Booyah Bomb's going to be their last attempt here. They are in the zone. They're trying to get it. They are able to cap it. They're going to keep themselves alive for just a little bit longer. And now 2 down on the side of Yo. They need to find those final picks here on the side. Just this last person remaining. They take 1 with them before going down, but Yo is able to stabilize. It looks out here in mid.
Yeah, that trade honestly went in their favor so strongly because they were cooler on top of already having that lead. Strikes are going out, trying to get that crab out of that left area, putting a lot of pressure on over there, but 2 coming in from that left area. That's amazing pick on them. That Splash is stuck by themselves along with the pen, and points are starting to take down. It can be so easy to go from this point to just an immediate switch. But zone's going to go into FT Lose's favor, giving that in a minute, it's going to go back to their favor. There we go. Giving that penalty back to Yo, giving them even less time to get back in here.
Yeah, and they do have a crab now to be able to continue keeping that pressure up, but look at that. There's just so much coming in. That Slosher already doing a great job of picking off those specials. Now 2 down on both sides. We're just seeing like this aggression matched on both sides as these bushes are so even and so close. It's really hard to tell what's going to be happening next. We do lose 1 on the side of FT Lose. Make that 2 down now. It's going to be Yo's opportunity to get in here. They do have to work through this penalty, but if they're able to get through it, right, there's not a lot of ground left to go for a lead change, and you have to look for that blaster. They're able to find it. That could be a key play there. Or you picking that blaster up, not allowing it to stay behind. We really have to look now to your special usage, that crab coming out, trying to stall this. As long as they can stay alive, right? If this bucket, especially, or if they can move in here, if they can find some key picks here, this could just be the end of the game. They're going to reposition there, knowing that these Booyah Bomb and this crab are coming out, right? Trying to hold on to this zone as it turns so yellow. All these crazy fights going down here in just these last few seconds. Who's it going to turn out to be? And it looks like FT Lose is going to just barely manage to hold that down.
that final offense from Yo looked so strong. They were set up, but I think just that Booyah Bomb along with that Crab getting all that pressure onto the zone, there wasn't much spots for Yo to move to, especially when, like, I think the Sasha made the right decision going back to just hold the zone and paint the zone. But it kind of went in the favor of FT Lose there, getting that pick on them and just immediately coming in and camping that spot.
It's really difficult to be in that situation and figure out what you need to do, whether you need to just go forward and find a kill, and maybe if you find a kill, it will stop a special from going out onto the zone, or do you need to come back and paint? Because, you know, if you lose that cap in overtime, it's over. You don't get another chance at it. So really tough decisions to be made there. Unfortunately, not quite going in their favor, but this is really, I think, just shown how evenly matched these teams are with how back and forth that was.
Yeah, both teams are really good. Both teams have their key players that just do a great job. I think one player that I really want to highlight from both teams actually is the Pen players. They're doing a great job staying alive and hitting those shots, and it's crucial that they do it. But here we are, 1-1. We're going into Splat Zone's Ramen. Looks like the same loadout so far. Yep, continued mirror match so far. So it's just a question of who is better at their comp.
Take note, who is it? I think it's Sencon that does like the graphics on like Blue Sky and Twitter. That's like the top weapon comps from X tournament that happened. It's just gonna be the same comp twice here for Triton Cup today. So they're gonna be matching Crab for Crab there. You see the second Crab coming out from the side of Yo, and they are able to make some ground off this. They have 2 down now. They need to continue to take out those fights. They do a great job of doing that, moving in on that blaster, able to find it as well. The bucket is already, you see, threatening so much space over there as it takes out 2 of two of Yo's members trying to move in. Now we're trying to pick out that bucket again, and just the jump outs are pretty crazy here. Marius, they just notice that they're in danger. We're gonna jump, we're gonna reposition. Like, look at those, the super jumps in the air as everybody just tries to get to a safer place to be able to reposition without dying.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you can see so much, like, adrenaline, so much power, so much speed from the side of Yo. The fact that they're able to jump out that quickly and get that reposition immediately and be like, okay, I'm here, I know where I want to go. That's so strong. Here we go, seeing the Crab come out from the side of FT Lose, immediately getting punished. Washer also getting punished in that left area. It's just the Pen online, and points are starting to tick down. Maybe they won't be able to have a stronghold here, as the members of FT Lose were coolered and they do coming back in. But oh my gosh, that S-Blast taking a strong position there in that elbow, getting 1 pick and stopping FT Lose from moving up too far.
Yeah, they certainly are trying to do that. Now FT Lose finds their way back into this zone. That blaster moving forward, seeing as much space as it can create, getting a little poke there, but not quite able to confirm that kill. And you can see now they've got the Booyah Bomb out, but Roman there dropping in on them. They do find the trade. There's a lot of fights happening there in that pit, but right now the big fight needs to happen on this zone as Yo is able to come back in and recap it, with FT Lose kind of having pulled their main force away from that zone. Now they've got to break back in once more, and it's going to be really hard, especially as Yo's starting to really move up and take control of a lot of their base. We haven't seen either of the teams really progress this far up into the map, and this is where we talk about like strong lockouts, right? These are where they happen on the map. You just need to be aware. They saw one behind, were able to turn around and get it. So now you just have to kind of notice where the re-entries are coming from and be able to stop them. The Crab is definitely going to be able to help them with that. But they have a Crab on the side of FT Lose as well. The mirror matches are just really funny to see in these cases.
Yeah, especially. I think the Crab on the side of Yo immediately got shredded because they focused that pencil instead. They weren't able to get that pick, but I mean, points are ticking down, but the favorites going in the side of Yo, they're able to get that cap again. That blaster coming in from that side, maybe gonna get able to get a pick. No, unfortunately they are not, but they do give their team space to go in there. 2 go down on the side of Yo, just that pencil, and they're stuck in an odd place, and they do get that pick on the pencil. 2 specials are up on the side of Yo, so this might not be a strong hold, but I mean, the Slosher taking a good position before getting punished. I'm not sure if Yo will be able to find a spot back immediately.
These strikes are definitely going to help them in doing so. They do have to scatter forward a little bit from that Booyah Bomb as that blaster provides a little bit extra pressure there. Now all eyes are going to be on Ori here as they move in, and they're going to be really that last line to try to make it in this time. But going down unfortunately means that Yo is going to have to regroup here to be able to find their way in, and they are only going to have about one more attempt left at this. Ori moving in through all this pressure, has strikes online, right? There's that lead swap. This is their final time. Unfortunately, one misplaced strike means that that's a little less paint on that zone, but it looks like still, despite that little slip up, that Yo is going to be able to take that zone, leaving just that pencil online for FT Lose. And again, we see them wasting no time moving up here. They've got that crab popped and ready to go. There isn't a lot of penalty to eat through here, so they could potentially flip the lead once again, as long as they're able to hold the zone for just a little bit of time.
Ooh! Strong punish there on that crab, taking away their ability to go for that zone. Strikes are coming out, and those strikes, that's going to be able to get that zone cap, and that crab coming in to try to pinch them into that corner. Slosher getting the pick on two important members. That should be able to switch the zone, and it's just that blaster online. He's stuck all by himself down there. He does get one pick, but I don't think he'll be able to do much down there. It looks like right now they're trying to kind of just avoid him. Yo is holding the strikes right now, keeping them online, trying to put them into the elbow, keep them solid, staggered in there. And right now, oh my gosh! And they get behind the crab, dispositions it, but they need to paint that zone.
Yeah, they sure need to. That paint is on the zone. They need to turn around for just a second longer. They need to win this fight here. They're going to be able to do so, but will they keep enough paint to be able to win?
Gosh.
Ollie going to be fighting out. This is going to be the key moment here. They're able to do so. And Yo going to take game 3. And that was huge. Between just Ori and Ollie, the slosher on the blaster on the side of Yo have just taken such phenomenal fights in this set. And I mean, throughout the runs that we've seen so far, Ori's so aggressive, able to move up with that bucket so fast, kind of already knows where people are moving. You talked about pre-fight, like it sees the crowd, turns around, it's behind it, right? Ori's just always in a key position to be able to make some sort of play that's going to get Yo back into that zone.
Yeah, those plays by Ori were so impressive. Getting those 2 picks and that assist, that was the picks that allowed them to get that lead and get that overtime situation. If Ori didn't get those 2 picks, I don't think they would have been able to win that game. It was such an incredible play by Ori, and I was just astounded by that end game too. The way that, I mean, everyone was panicking. We saw both Chargers tap-shotting in zone, panic all over, fights happening everywhere. But, I mean, Yo still kept their calm and was able to win it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really impressive to see them come together there in those final few moments of the match and be able to hold on to it for just dear life, right? As they were fighting a really, really scrappy fight there at the end. They almost lost it for a moment, right? And they were able to just kind of piece everything together in the moment that it mattered. Really, really, really well done. And now they are threatening a bracket reset. FT Lose needs to be able to lock in here and win these next 2 games if they want to close it out here. But Yo, more hungry now than ever to be able to close this match out and start that bracket reset run.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this game because we saw this earlier in their last set, but we see that leader come out again from Yo. We saw how strong it was in that positioning, but that crab coming in, getting that pick on them, kind of breaking down that momentum, getting 2, getting 3 by the cooler. That's going to kind of break up the momentum because I don't think those players were able to get cooler in time.
Yeah, they definitely can get in here. We're going to see them over here on the side just trying to get under these grades to be able to poke somebody out. They're able to do it. Wow, really, really impressive play there, but it looks like now Yo taking control of that zone once again. I say as the strikes are going to come out and potentially flip it in FT Lose's favor. Once again, it's kind of back and forth between these teams. We've seen how evenly matched they are.
Yeah, really strong plays coming out from both sides. That crab and that blaster comboing beautifully over there, taking that important spot under their ledge there, maybe getting one pick, but unfortunately gets punished. One goes down to that bomb, and strikes are coming out to kind of get the zone. And we see that Bucket making a beeline over to that pencil player, but they might get stopped here by the splash, which, yes, unfortunately, they do get beaten by a tag team by the S-Blast and the Splash.
Yes, they do, and right now it looks like they're doing a great job of holding that forward pressure, trying to pin in on these last few members of Yo. They are 2 down. They need to try to be able to hold this for as long as they can, get that zone back under their control. They do, but no losing 2 down in the process, make that 3. That's now going to be Yo's zone to be able to take. Now you've got Ori under these ledges, of course, not where you want Ori to be if you're FT Lose, who's been so strong at holding those zones. They realize they're in a little bit of jeopardy there, especially in that kind of slosher mirror match there. So they do choose to back out, pick these strikes out to try to stop some time, bleed some time off this clock, because they are awfully close to being able to flip that lead here. And it looks like they are going to be able to do so here, Mari. And just as they do, it looks like FT Lose ready to respond, able to get back in here, looking to flip that zone themselves and be able to take this lead back if they can.
Ooh, that ends up getting a really good pick on the pen, but I think, unfortunately, the pen was coolered and the ins-up was not. So that trade actually goes in favor of FT Lose there. That Slosher getting a really good pick on that E-Leader, camping the spot that we had Ori in, but getting more success than Ori had earlier. Some really good plays were going on. That grab up on that right-hand corner, getting another one from that Slosher. We are seeing some really strong picks going out, and with the points just going down for FT Lose, I don't know if they'll have much opportunities to get back in here, especially considering these strikes coming out and stalling out these 2 players over here, but they are able to get zoned.
Yeah, I mean, and every time you think that something isn't gonna happen, right? If you think, oh, it doesn't look like there's enough time, these teams, they find the space, they find the time to be able to make it happen. Yo, now they're looking to try to be able to threaten a knockout here if they can start chewing through these penalty points, and they are certainly almost through it. Got a bit left to go before they can flip that lead and potentially knock out. They're looking out here on this left-hand side as the members of FT Lose try to re-enter that map. You see some jump outs repositioning them. Going 2 down, though, means that FT Lose is going to be able to find their way back in. Ollie left in that pit, unfortunately, going to be picked out now, too. And now, look at that. It's just that Bucket left up as the rest of Yo is respawning. The FT Lose just needs to really eat through this penalty if they can, because there is not a lot of points left on the board to be able to score if they do eat through that penalty.
Yeah, penalty going down really quickly. We have that crab position in a really strong spot, and that S-Blast in a really strong spot. This Bucket might go down here, but they are able to get that one hit, but the zone is going down, and it goes in the favor of FT Lose. We are going to go to a game 5 here.
Yeah, really, really close, really back and forth, and now this is, this game pretty much hinges on what's going to be the outcome of this tournament, right? Is Yo gonna win this and go to that bracket reset and keep their hopes alive for a little bit longer? Or is FT Lose going to lock in, close it down, and say, hey, no bracket reset today, we're gonna take this home right now? Who knows? I mean, it's been so close.
Yeah, both teams are playing out of their minds right now. It's incredible stuff coming out. Honestly, I was surprised that they were able to get back in there and cap that zone last time. I know that it didn't amount to much, but if I was in their position and it was ticking down, I don't think I would have been able to think that fast and get in there. But, I mean, these are both incredible teams. If Yo wins this last game, we will see a bracket reset position, which brings us to another best of 5. So you will have several more games. But, I mean, that momentum that FT Lose just had, that was a good game from them. Are they going to maybe have that adrenaline pumping through their brains, that energy, that hype that Yo had that we talked about going in their favor now?
Yeah, that's going to be the real question here, and it's really difficult to tell what is going to happen, where all this momentum is going to go in this potentially final game, right? Tiebreaker coming across the screen. All of it comes down to these next 5 or so minutes as these teams are going to throw everything they have onto this zone as we continue to see just the fight of the century between this mirror match between these two teams going out, seeing who's going to get that early control. We can already see FT Lose looks like they're making a little bit of a speedier entry to that zone. But despite making the speedier team, it looks like Yo has more paint to throw down, that they're using a little bit of wiser places. The Crab on the right-hand side is trying to force out Yo, and it's going to successfully be able to do so. You know, a little bit slower, a little bit more patient there with how they use their specials means that they're going to be able to come out on top there. Now they're in this good lockout position. We've seen it time and time again throughout this tournament, how easy it is to get under these ledges and cause a lot of ruckus, but the Swatcher does end up getting flushed out. Going to be paving the way for Yo to find their way back into this, especially with those tri-strikes coming out. They just need to move together as a team, take out this Crab and find a way in together. But FTD's certainly making that hard.
Yeah, Yo looks like they're panicking a little bit. They're in these hard positions. They do manage to get that splat, but I mean, it's going really even right now, and the points are ticking down for FT Lose. And when you only have 13 points left, and it's just your pencil, that's not what you want to see. This might be a knockout from FT Lose, and it's going to be a win by them.
Yeah, that was great gameplay there. And I think that FT Lose, once they were in there, they held that down. You know, you see the kind of snowball that happens on this map when it's hard to get back in. I think that Yo maybe got just a little bit impatient trying to find those re-entries, feeling that desperation as their run was kind of hanging in the balance there. They needed to be able to find that zone, but not being able to do it together. FT Lose is able to close that out. No bracket reset today. FT Lose are gonna be your Triton Cup 114 champions.
Yeah, beautiful showing by FT Lose. It was looking a little rough in the beginning there, but FT Lose kept calm. They've warmed up. They got back into the swing of things, and they showed a beautiful performance, especially with that last game, keeping their wits with them and just taking that easy win.
Yeah, it was absolutely huge, but I mean, still beautiful gameplay from both sides. We saw really good plays back and forth, and I mean, they were so close. You know, you talk about a 3-2, you think that's really close on paper. Oh, it was really close in between games. Like, we saw it come down to the absolute wire. I don't think you could have asked for a tighter set than that. But that is going to close us up here today for Triton Cup. So congratulations again to FT Lose, our Triton Cup 114 champions. But before we head off, Mari, where can the good people of the stream find you?
You can find me at Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, wherever at Mari Time with that 2 eyes after the R. I go by that name everywhere. You can see it right there above the music. Toma, where can the lovely people watching find you?
You can find me at Blue Sky at toma.inkling.social or over at Twitter at Crest of Gautier. But that's it for us all here today, folks. So stay tuned. Of course, Triton Cup coming back to you all the time. This is a regular Dapple Productions tournament week after week. So we hope to see you all back here next week on Dapple Productions.
Thank you.